is where MAGA comes to talk, and of course we're going to talk about everything involving the shutdown and Epstein and everything in between, because you know what's going on here with the Democrats. The Democrats are just disgusting people. Right? I mean, can we all agree on that? The Democrats are just disgusting people. There's no getting around it. I mean, there's no good that comes out of the Democrats. None. The only thing that comes out of the Democrats is just poison. And I'm going to talk about that when we start in just a minute. And of course, calls are most definitely welcome. If you'd like to call in, please do. The number will be in the chat in just a second. Now, to see and hear all the audio and images and video that I show, you need to go to my main live stream, which I'm going to start in just a moment, and there's a direct link in the description. And the number to call in is right there, pinned in the live chat. It's right there. Okay. All right. All right, here we go. Welcome to the Brian Craig Show podcast. My name is Brian Craig, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. Welcome, one and all. So the government shutdown's officially over because they passed the bill, it went to the president, and everything's been signed. So everything is signed, sealed, and delivered. It's over. And yesterday we got this insane, just absurd, low-life dump involving Jeffrey Epstein. And I want to talk about all these things. And, you know, the Democrats, Democrats are just the lowest form of scum in our country. There's no getting around that, guys. They are just the lowest form of life in American politics today. They really are. These absurd Epstein drops yesterday were out there for two reasons. One, we have this Brennan indictments coming, and it's also expected we're not just going to get Brennan, but we're going to get Peter Strzok and Lisa Page. Remember them? All the text messages and everything. And Peter Strzok is behind almost everything involving the early days of the lawfare against President Trump and Hillary Clinton's problems and everything. So, and Lisa Page had a big role in that. So these are very important indictments. And every time an indictment of one of these lawfare people is about to happen, all of a sudden they drop Epstein stuff. But these drops yesterday, you know, came from the Democrats in Congress. And this was obviously about, part of it are the coming indictments. And the other part is they were going to lose again with the government shutdown. And they are trying to hijack the narrative. And I almost said the news cycle. But the news cycle, the modern news cycle, it's hard to even know if there is a news cycle anymore. Things are happening so fast and there's so many different media outlets. So they were trying to get the news cycle hijacked and bogged down with the name Epstein to take away from the defeat that they knew they were facing with the final votes and the signature of the president and the government shutdown. Longest shutdown in history, 42 days. And this is such a bizarre thing to me. So the government's reopening, and then tomorrow's Friday, it's going to shut down at 5 o'clock again tomorrow for the weekend. And it would have been shut down anyway on Veterans Day the other day. So whatever, it shuts down every week. Well, anyway, that's what this was all about. And I was talking on my podcast last night that I'm of the opinion, and I want to take calls on this. Okay, I'm of the opinion, and in the numbers pinned in the live chat, I'm of the opinion that MAGA people don't care about the Epstein story. It doesn't mean that we don't care about sex offenders and such, but it has nothing to do with Trump, other than as soon as he found out about him, not only did he kick him out of Mar-a-Lago, he turned him into the local police in Palm Beach, the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. And President Trump also was an undercover informant, right, with the FBI to bring down Epstein. We found this out a few weeks back from Mike Johnson. And that was something we weren't supposed to know. And I think that when I say that MAGA people, I'm talking about real MAGA people, not fake MAGA people. Real MAGA people don't care about the Epstein story, not because they don't care about people being victimized. Of course we do. But we believe, and well, I shouldn't say we believe, we know that Trump did nothing inappropriate, right? We know that. So the only reason they bring it up is to smear the president and try to bring him down. So I will take calls on this, and I want to say this: if you're on the other side, I don't mind you calling about Epstein, but if the conversation goes into why are you supporting a pedophile and that kind of stuff, I'm not going to have that. I had some really good conversations on my podcast last night. You got to have a real conversation. No trolls on the phone, okay? If you're capable of doing that. I want to hear from people on both sides, meaning those of you that are true MAGA, not fake MAGA. Those of you that are MAGA, I want to hear your thoughts on all of this. And those of you that are obsessed with the Epstein issue, in a logical discussion, tell me why it is important today to you, really, in a logical way. All right. The number's toll free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning. Good morning.
Hey, Richie.
I heard you brought up that great name of Epstein.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
This was the lowest blow. You're going to be receiving calls from all these creepy Democrats this morning.
Yep.
The Republican senator from Tennessee, Tim Burchett, I believe his name is.
Yeah.
He said, I'm tired of this, and he put it on the floor yesterday. Let's just open it all up with Epstein, and he was blocked.
Yeah.
You know who blocked him? The Democrats.
That's right. That's right.
So, I mean, so they don't want, they want to keep this, the flame going. They don't want, they know the truth. But they don't really want it out to the public because then they have nothing.
Correct.
It's Trump's bad, Trump bad, Trump bad. That's all they got. This was the biggest disgraceful thing they did to the American people.
Yes.
At first, I remember you were saying that we wouldn't even notice the government was shut down. But boy, then they carried it way out of line. It went completely way too far. I mean, and I believe that was part of the reason why they got all these government workers all ticked off in Virginia, and that's why the numbers. I'm not sure whether we would have won there because it's a lot of blue, but I'm sure that affected the elections all over the country, and for government workers. And I just think this Epstein thing is enough already because if they had anything on Trump, that would have come out a long time ago. They tried everything to stop this guy.
Yeah, and when I say that MAGA people don't care, that's what I mean. We are 100% confident. There's nothing there with Trump, or look at it. They shot him. right? All these arrests, they wouldn't have had to do any of that. If these Epstein files showed anything, or they had one person who was accusing him, that would have been it. They would have had them on every talk show, and like they used to do with Stormy Daniels' lawyer and all that. And that would have been it. That would have been it.
So if anyone brings up to you today any of these left-wing wackadoodles, brings it up to you, ask them why did they prevent Tim Burchett? Why did they stop his bill?
Yeah, you know, and it's an interesting thing, okay? Because we all hold on, Rich. We all know that part, right? About the Democrats stopping it. Why do you think the Democrats, every time this has come up, have stopped the files from being released?
Not because that's all they got. They have nothing else. That's right. It's a fake thing. They know it's not that there's.
I don't think it's that something's in there. They always want to have that in the background to bring up when they're desperate.
That's it. When they're desperate, this is, and you're going to get these people going to try to distract the fact that they shut the government down. And I'm so glad that this Obamacare is going to go down the toilet. Because President Trump last night, what he said was he's sick of it already. It's a collapsing thing by Obama. It's never been good.
Yeah.
He said 25. It would come down 25% right the first year, and he said you'd be able to keep your doctors. Well, that happened to be the biggest lie on the face of the earth. You don't hear him.
The thing about Obamacare, you know, a lot of you may know, may remember. Remember, we used to be with Adam Klatzoff. Remember?
Yeah, sure, Adam. That was a radio studio you had.
He passed away a number of years ago. He had a massive Blue Cross and Blue Shield agency that covered all of South Florida. Massive agency. Obamacare wrecked it, and I remember. The first days after, because he had, I don't even know how many insurance agents. He had offices all from, Palm Beach, Broward, and Dade County. And he had a lot of agents. And the agents are like, there's nothing for us to do. We have this website. Yeah, what are we supposed to do? Just go through the website that they can do at home? It just destroyed
the big, right. The biggest complaint about Walmart was that Walmart put mom and pop out of business all over the country. As soon as the Walmart comes in, everyone goes out of business.
Yeah.
Well, that was United Healthcare and Humana, all the big ones. In other words, all the small insurance companies were just sucked up and gone. Bye. And the people had less choices. And when you have less choice, they can dictate the price to you.
And I'll tell you, what happened with Obamacare is the insurance companies got really greedy, because what was happening is they were passing a federal law, making it a federal law to buy their product. So could you imagine, say you are Chevy, you're Chevrolet, and they're going to pass a law mandating by federal law that everybody has to buy a Chevy, and they started seeing the dollar signs, and the insurance company wrecked their own industry. They're out of their greed.
Oh, now I wonder what they're going to do. And by the way, for people that get the money, it comes down to it, and they're saying, well, they're trying to scare people. You could buy a plan that in case you get cancer or in case you have a heart attack and you end up in a hospital, you could buy a plan like that, and that'll be a lot cheaper.
Hospitalization. It's called hospitalization.
Yeah, and people that are under 40 years old, they don't have to go to a doctor, but maybe once a year. They're not going in there for all these other, like an old person like me, for God's sake. I don't even go to doctors. I stay away from them. I just don't.
I don't either. Very rarely do I go to see, obviously I've got Dr. Appleton and I've got our coastal weight loss doctor, but you know what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, when you go to a doctor, and it's just normal, you go in there and you say, my toe hurts. They say, okay, but by the way, let me check this, let me check that. They pad the bill.
That's right.
Because they're in business.
That's
so
right.
they're going to check your ear when you go in there and complain your toe hurts.
It's a scam. They're racking up. They're doing unnecessary tests and treatments. It's just like
to build up the insurance company.
It's just like I talk about when you hear me talk about Dr. Appleton with the laser wave pain treatment. You go to the orthopedic doctor, you're going to have a surgery schedule before you leave the office because that's where the money is, right? The money is not in non-surgical treatments for these surgeons, so they want to cut you open.
Automatically. And let me ask anyone out there with the insurance companies, how many times did you go and the doctor says, well, you need to get this, and they deny you? I mean, but they deny you because they're in control of you.
That's right.
You're not denied. If you could shop by yourself, you're not denied. If you could go, if one doctor doesn't want to look at you, another doctor will. Cash is king.
President Trump, of course, the lockdowns and stuff kind of derailed what Trump was doing in the first term. That's why they did it. But one of the things Trump tried to do in his first term that he was not able to do was make it so that you could buy insurance across state lines. Like you and I are in Florida, so we have to buy insurance from a Florida company. And he couldn't get that through. Right, exactly. The insurance lobby has such a strangle on Congress, even President Trump couldn't get that through.
Let me tell you something really fast. I have a friend from Utah. He needed cataract surgery. He has an appointment in Utah at the end of this month. He said he was down visiting me, was down here for about 3 weeks. He said, and my wife had that done. He said, maybe I could get it here. I got United Healthcare. You know that the doctor wouldn't take it. He said, United Healthcare, Florida, even though it's the same company, we won't take Utah. Yeah. And we don't take. In other words, there's a scam. It's the same company.
And those of you that talk about socialized health care, my mother-in-law, my wife's mother, my mother-in-law, she's an immigrant from Canada. She's an American. She's been an American almost as long as I have. But so she has family in Canada. One of my wife's cousins, he had to have. He's a well-to-do guy, by the way. He was at the World Series in Toronto, right in the front behind first base. Okay, so they're well-to-do Canadians. He hold on. He needed a scan and some tests. They told him 6 months. So he got on a plane, flew to Boca, and got the test at a walk-in place here, and then took the test back to Canada so he could get treatment. So the health, socialized healthcare doesn't work. Obamacare. Anytime the government gets involved in healthcare, it doesn't work. Oh, hold on. Did I lose Richie? Hold on. All right. Did I lose you, Richie? Oh, I lost Richie, but okay, he can call back later. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Doc from Texas.
Hey, Texas.
Hey, man, how are you this morning?
All right, hold on. Let me answer some of these lines. I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm good. Hey, look, what was I calling you about this morning? Oh, I'm glad the shutdown is over with, and I'm glad it's all over done with. Now, I wish they have a meeting about the ACA, give these people some help on the insurance.
Yeah. What would you like them? You're talking about Obamacare. What would you like them to do for Obamacare? How would you fix it?
Fix it to where people have the insurances, where everybody is satisfied. Make sure the insurance company is not gouging everybody.
Hold on a second. Where everybody is satisfied. When is everybody ever satisfied with anything?
I know a lot of people won't be satisfied. I know a lot of people won't be satisfied like you. You will never be satisfied. So what I'm saying is, just try to work on at least get some people some kind of relief, Brian.
Listen, be done with it. Except in most instances, you really don't need health insurance until you get to be in your mid 50s, late 50s, early 60s. Okay, really.
Are you serious? Are you serious,
Except
Brian?
In certain instances.
Do you know how many people I know that are in their 20s or sick that need health insurance? Do you know that, Brian?
Yeah, my wife is on more medications than anybody you know. My wife has a pretty serious illness, and she and I are the same age, so okay. I understand. But that's an unusual situation. I'm talking about for most people. Most people.
You still need it. Hold on a second. I don't care how old.
You don't need it. Most people are like me.
You do.
Most people are like me, right? I'm 54. Mm-hmm. I'm 54. Mm-hmm. I'm in perfect health, right? Remember, I had my full body scan, no plaque buildup, no blockage. You know, I don't take any medications, no cancers or anything. Most people are like me and don't need health insurance. So what I would do,
and I'm glad,
is I would just expand Medicare, lower the age maybe to 55 or 58 or 60, and everybody else can fend for themselves unless there's a serious medical condition like my wife has.
Oh, Brian, that's horrible for you to say. That's horrible for you to say.
That's how it should be.
Why would you say that? Why would you say that? You call yourself a Christian and you say that. Come on, man, that's not right.
Well,
you know that's not right.
Are you in good health? Are you in good health?
Yes, I am.
Why do you need insurance?
Because in case something happened, why do you need car insurance?
You know what I found?
In case something happened.
The car insurance, because the law requires it. If you have a car, you're required
and the law
by
should require that you have health insurance.
But here in Florida, homeowners insurance premiums have gone through the roof since we had a hurricane a few years ago in the Gulf of America, and a lot of people.
Gulf of Mexico, you mean? Gulf of Mexico, you mean?
No, it's the Gulf of America.
Mexico, brother. Mexico.
All right, learn your geography, okay? A lot of you're required to have homeowners insurance if your home is financed. But I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people whose homes are paid for. They've let their insurance lap. They don't need it. They figure if there's a hurricane, because it's so expensive.
On the news, there was a house fire in the area last week. And homeboy, after the hurricanes, he was so frustrated with his insurance. He paid his house off, and he dropped his insurance. His house caught on fire last week.
And
poor baby, poor baby's house on. Now he's begging. They're begging for people. He said, "I wish I'd have never dropped my insurance."
That's a rare thing.
I wish I'd have kept.
How many people's houses burned? How many people's houses burned?
At least I'd catch a fire insurance. But Brian, you have to cover yourself, Brian.
You don't
Come on, man.
No, I don't.
That's like burial insurance. That's like burial insurance.
I've got great sponsors that sponsor me on the radio, on my podcast and YouTube channel. So I've got some great doctors, and they all see me and treat me, at no charge or very little. And when I need prescriptions...
Well, you're blessed. A lot of people not like you.
When I go to the primary care physician, sometimes I just go to the walk-in clinic. I pay out of pocket. I do that maybe every few years. And when I get prescriptions... I found out something about prescriptions too. The most common prescriptions that you need, you can get them for peanuts at the local pharmacy. If you tell them you don't have insurance, all of a sudden at Walgreens, they've got all kinds of discounts and coupons and everything else, and it costs peanuts. I do the same. I do the same thing with my pets. Like when I go to the vet, and I get a prescription for my vet. Oh man, that's a lot of money. But if you take that, if you get a written prescription and go to like Walgreens or CVS, it's like peanuts because they take the same drugs we take.
You're talking about pets, and I never realized that until my wife wanted a dog. So the agreement was it had to be a small dog. So she got her a small dog, and she had to take it to the vet, and she came with the bill for the pills. I'm like, God, that's worse than an adult pill.
Well, you can get them to write you a prescription and take it to a local pharmacy. It's peanuts. For the most part, pets take the same prescriptions we take. Unless it's heartworms or something.
We need. I don't care how old you are. We need health insurance.
No, you don't.
And so you can.
Why does an 18, 19-year-old need health insurance?
Because 18, 19-year-old can get sick, Brian. Can get sick.
What are they going to get?
Most of the time they covered under their. Brian, anything, cancer, diabetes, heart.
How many 18-year-olds get cancer or diabetes?
A lot, Brian.
No,
Trust
not
me.
that many. Not that many.
I know. I see it every day, Brian. And that's the problem is
what do you do? You work at a hospital? What do you mean you see it every day? You work at a hospital or something?
Because if you know people, Brian,
where are you that you're seeing 18, 19-year-olds with cancer and diabetes every day? Where do you work?
Trust me, Brian. Do you have social media? Do you have social media? Do you see on Facebook, see all the people, the babies, the 18, 19-year-olds have cancer?
Well, that's misleading because people put things up on there when they're going through tough times. That's not common. Most people do not need health insurance. Most people do not need it,
Brian. They still need it. And I hope your listeners all have health insurance.
Nope. You need it when you're older. All right, take care. Now, I want to remind you guys The early show is brought to you by Mike Lindell at MyPillow. There's a whole bunch of new products, but there is the 50% off sale with my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. You can click that. And guys, remember, I'm trying to make this a permanent thing with MyPillow sponsoring the early show. Things are going very well. We're in the third month of it. And so please do your Christmas shopping with my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. There's just huge savings there on everything. You can use my promo code site-wide. You'll find great Christmas gifts. And, of course, you can also use my promo code in the My Store. And whatever you buy, it's of always high quality at MyPillow.com. And you guys have really been standing up and supporting MyPillow because I hear from them. And I know you are, but to carry this through permanently after the first of the year, I need you guys to do extra good. These are new products that I don't know anything about yet. They just popped up on the website. I'm going to call Mike Lindell's office today because I like this. Probiotics, omega-3. I like I've had the energy drinks, which are spectacular, but I want to find out about these health products that they have. And I'll start talking about those as well. So it's promo code Kane, Kane, at checkout at MyPillow.com. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I
let you. Okay, hold on, Richie, while I'm answering all the lines that come in. I'm sorry, the lines exploded, and I lost track of what line you were on.
Yeah. Talk about, and this idiot that just called, by the way, where do you find most doctors? Where do you find most doctors? I'm going to prove your point. Where are most doctors?
Yeah.
You know where most doctors are? Where the old people are.
Florida.
Because they need it all the time. You don't have doctors in young community. You have
exactly
compared to the old communities. I mean, Dr. Goldmine is South Florida for years because of all the old sick people.
if they rolled back the age, if they rolled back the age to Medicare to like 55, 58, or 60, you know, almost all, about 80 to 90% of an individual. Now again, my wife needs health insurance. It's very expensive. She's on tens of thousands of dollars of medication every month. Okay, so she's but most people, that's an unusual situation. Most people, 80 to 90% of their healthcare costs are in the last 5 years of life when they're in their 80s. That's a fact. Yeah.
Now I'm going to say this to people out there that believe in this, like this Bernie Sanders. We got to have health care.
Yeah.
You know, this crazy old coot. Okay, I drove the bus over to the health department, and right next door was WIC. Now the health department over Pembroke Road in Hollywood, Florida. And I used to drop the people off. I used to see all these pregnant women coming on the bus. Believe me when I tell you this. And I pick them up at like 7 in the morning, and I drop them off in front of the health department. Do you know that they would get on my last trip sometimes 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon? They'd get on. They were there all day, and some of them said they didn't see me today. I got to go back tomorrow.
Oh my goodness!
It was so crowded.
The government
you sit there
healthcare.
like cattle, like cattle.
Yep.
So people want dignity. And like I said, these doctors are in business, man. That's their business.
That's exactly right.
And if they they're
right.
billing these insurance companies.
Listen, Richie, I'm gonna move on because I got a full board. But you know, all right. By the way, Richie is the only caller that's allowed more than one call a day. And the way I work that out with Richie, if he calls during the pre-show, which is this part, he can call back during the radio show. I call it the golden ticket. He's the only holder of the golden ticket. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yep. This is Mike from Louisiana.
Hey, Mike.
You know, Brian. To your point, I'm going to let people in on my whole situation. At age 12 or 13, I had a pretty major seizure. All right. After that seizure, I wasn't on any. I didn't get on any insurance or anything. I might have. My dad was a teacher. I might have been on the school system's insurance, maybe. I can't remember at the time.
Yeah.
Come 25 years later, I had another major seizure at 38. All right?
Yeah.
I still wasn't then I ended up getting on Medicaid and things of that nature.
Yeah.
But I wasn't on any insurance then either. So again, 12 to 13 and then 38, I wasn't on it. To your point, I didn't get on anything major until after 38 years old when I got on Medicaid.
Well, yeah, the reason that they want everybody of every age on insurance is to not just make money, but to fund the people that use it, right? I mean, there's no need for most when you get older. I'm getting to the age now where I have, I'm going to need. I'll probably wait till when I qualify for Medicare is probably when I'll get insurance, right? That's probably when I'll get insurance when I qualify for Medicare. So I got a number of years, but. I think I'm the average person. There's always, I understand there's always outliers like my wife or your situation when you were young, but those are rare.
Yeah. Yeah, those are rare. Yeah. And to your point about Epstein, I don't care about Epstein only in as much as I still want to know which deep state, because the Epstein murder was a deep state op.
Oh, yeah.
Which deep state carried that op out, and I want to know that in as much as Epstein. That's the only thing I want to know about Epstein.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. It was definitely an op. No, everybody, I think everybody believes that, right? Is there anyone who does not believe it? That? It's so hard to...
Only the Democrats.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well, do they even? I don't know. I don't think the Democrats believe in much of anything other than just Trump opposition.
Yeah, they want to find every little thing they want to find is they want to find anything that will hurt Trump in any way possible.
Yep, that's true. That's true.
That's what this is. Because they still think because of what happened earlier with these influencers getting these things, they still think that the Epstein situation can hurt Trump for some reason.
Absolutely. All right, Mike, I appreciate the call. All right, you take care. No, but back to what I was talking about in regards to this Epstein drop, because of the indictments that are coming, plus the Democrats wanted to hijack the news cycle away from President Trump defeating them with the government shutdown. MAGA people don't care about Epstein because we know Trump had no role in doing anything other than bringing him to justice by reporting. He was maybe the first person to report him to the police may have been President Trump with the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. And it's just so disgusting that the left continue to bring this up. Now, if you're on hold, stand by. I'd like to take all your calls on this, on both sides of the issue. If you're watching live, the number is pinned in the live stream, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. We'll take a quick break and be right back. Now, those of you with the green behind me, if you want to see and hear all the audio and video and imagery, you have to go to my main stream. The link is in the description of the video. And if you want to call in, it's toll free wherever you're located, and the number is pinned in the live chat, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. It's a toll free call no matter where you are located. Okay, we'll be back shortly. Hold on. Stand by. Yeah, by the way, Back 40 Metalworks, there's a link in the description of the video. They're good conservative people, and they're supporting the show. So if you could do some Christmas shopping there too, it would be greatly appreciated. I was watching on my Instagram feed today, Dinesh D'Souza said on Instagram, he put a video up on Instagram and Dinesh D'Souza is an insider, right? He knows all the players. Dinesh D'Souza said that Tucker Carlson is trying to take over Turning Point USA, or at least be the face of it, like the new Charlie Kirk. And then, of course, turn it into something else. Oh my goodness. If it was anyone other than Dinesh D'Souza, I wouldn't think that would even be a realistic thought in Tucker's mind. But if Dinesh D'Souza went public with that, and he's really been going after Tucker a lot, I think that's something we can take to the bank that he's trying to do. There's a lot of people that want to have that leadership role at Turning Point. It's so important. And Tucker, I don't know if Tucker wants it to destroy it or as a replacement income for what he lost at Fox. I don't know. But I believe Dinesh D'Souza, and he's been setting off the fire alarms since Tucker did that interview with Nick Fuentes about Tucker. I am just so tired of conservatives that are not backing this president. President Trump is doing everything we elected him to do and more. The only frustration I have is not with the president, it's with Pam Bondi. I believe Pam Bondi is either doesn't know what she's doing or doesn't want to do it when it comes to the lawfare. I thought we'd have all these indictments by now, and I've lost so much patience with Pam Bondi. I really have. But this administration, President Trump is doing everything he promised to do and more at levels that are absolutely amazing, right? There's breaking the back of the Democrats with the Obamacare push that they were trying to do for the illegals. I was talking to a caller a couple days ago about this. To be a Republican before Trump, nothing like this ever would have happened. This was the longest government shutdown in history, they said, 42 days. Well, they never lasted long before because the Republicans prior to Trump always caved. They would talk about the food stamp benefits and hungry people. They would talk about people not getting their health. And the Republicans would always cave. They just couldn't handle being attacked by the Democrats on these absurd things. And if you noticed, over these 42 days of the government shutdown, they went through their little handful of things they did during every shutdown to try to get Trump to cave to them, and it didn't work. And it didn't work for a number of reasons, but the main reason things didn't work is because President Trump stands up to them. He doesn't cave. And because he doesn't cave, he won. Now, I want to talk, there was, well, if you'd like to call in, by the way, about any of this, you're welcome to. The number's pinned in the live chat. It's toll free. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian, it's Jeff. What's up, man?
Not much, man.
How you doing?
I'm doing.
Good. Hey, Brian, a quick question. Do you have any friends that are Democrats?
Nope.
Really?
No.
It's hard, isn't it?
No, there's reasons why.
Really?
I'll tell you why.
I mean,
I'm going to tell you why, but why do you think I do not have any friends who are Democrats? Why do you think that is?
Because you can't win an argument.
Well, you're not talking about. That's what I do all day. What I do all day is win arguments. No, friends are not. Friends of mine. I don't sit around and debate the issues all day like I'm talking to you on the phone. No.
Right.
There's a reason why I don't have any Democrat, any liberal friends. And this was an amazing thing. Remember when I talked about when I almost got murdered in Jacksonville by a Democrat about a year and a half ago? I went to Jacksonville, and you may have seen this on my other YouTube channel, Main Street Moments. I took a tour of these Star Trek sets that some fans built that are exact replicas of the original Star Trek series. I got together with friends of mine that I've known for some of them 50 years. I had not seen them in 30 or 40 years, some of my friends. We had a bit of a reunion, and our friendship is when we were teenagers, right? Maybe up to 20, and we just knew each other from Star Trek, right? Our love of Star Trek, going to conventions and such. All of them were MAGA. Right. I was in shock. All of them. And we haven't had contact, some of them 30 years. And the reason I don't have friends that are Democrats is because people that you choose as friends are people that you have things in common with, which include a set of morals. And Democrats are low-life scumbuckets that are of low moral character. And I'm not friends with low-life scumbuckets of low moral character that support immorality and perversions. So no, I don't have any Democrat friends. None.
Well, see, Brian, see, I feel the same way. See, because I'm Democrat, and I feel the same way that you do when I look at MAGA, that they have no morals, and they claim to be Christian-like. But how can you be Christian-like and, you know, like, do you think Jesus would approve of what ICE does to families here? And
Jesus was not political, and this is such a bizarre thing because Democrats who have spent so much of their time getting God, Jesus, prayer, and the Bible out of the public square with their made-up separation of church and state liberal urban legend that they promoted. All of a sudden,
Brian,
no, it's not.
The separation of church.
It's not in the Constitution. Where can I find that?
What is it?
Where can I find that? Separation
of
church and state. It is not in the Constitution. But now you want it. But now you want the government to be held to Christian standards. But you lost what little credit, Jeff. You lost what little credit. You lost whatever little shred of credibility you had with this listening audience by something you implied. You're saying that you have friends. No one believes that you have friends.
Well, you know, the thing is that we hold you to
notice no denial of that. See, you're friendless. So you have no friends, liberal or Democrat, MAGA or liberal.
Actually, I do. And you know, for you to project, why do you project? You know, when it comes to
tell me about the last time you got together with a friend. Tell me the last time you got together with a friend.
Brian, let me get a word in edgewise. You change the subject every time I go to answer your last question. You butt in and change the subject to something else. Let me answer your last question, please. Please. I do have friends on both sides of the aisle. But it is hard to have friends on both sides of the aisle, is my point that I'm trying to make. You know what I mean? Because you hold yourself, and they are Christian, some of them, not all of them. But it's like, you know, yeah, you speak of, you hold us to higher Christian standards. Yes, because you preach Christian standards. Okay? But what would, in the old thing back in the day, what would Jesus do? Do you think Jesus would approve of the way this administration
Jesus was not into politics, but I'm interested.
I know
tell me about the last time you got together with your friends.
Every Sunday I get together with my friends.
What'd you do last Sunday?
What did I do last
with
Sunday?
your friends?
Went camping, actually.
Went camping. You went camping? Where'd you go camping?
Down there, actually, it was in Middleburg.
It was where?
In Middleburg.
Middleburg. And, like, what did you have? A tent? Like in Brokeback Mountain? Or an RV? What'd you have?
See, now, like, you can't have a normal conversation because you've got to throw in your little insult. But, Brian,
there was no insult. I'm just asking. RV, tent. You went camping last weekend.
Yeah, I went camping last weekend. But you know, you throw in those little digs. Like I see a little innuendo.
What was the digs? I asked you. Was it a tent? Was it an RV?
Was it a tent with a Brokeback Mountain? Like, what are you getting at? What are you trying to say?
Well, as a liberal, what would be wrong? What would be wrong with a Brokeback Mountain? Isn't that like? Isn't that just a love story to you liberals? What's wrong with that? Why would it be an insult to be gay? Why would it be an insult if someone's gay? You're a liberal. Why would that be an insult?
Because
it's not an insult.
I'm not gay.
Well, it's not. Well, why would it be an insult? I didn't insinuate it, but they used a tent in Brokeback Mountain.
Why would you mention it then? All right, let's get away from that.
Because it's a famous tent movie. It's the most famous tent movie there is.
I never saw it. Sorry, I never saw it. You might have seen it. I never saw it.
I did see it. I had to see it, so I saw it for work to be able to talk about it. So yeah,
you saw it for work.
Yeah. So nobody. So
work research.
You're doing everything.
Okay,
yeah. To talk. It was a controversy. Anyway. It was an issue to be talked about on the radio then. So to talk about it, I had to see it. It was disgusting.
Anyways.
Anything to get away from the camping. Anything to get away from your camping story that didn't happen.
I went camping, and yeah, so I went camping.
A tent or an RV? A tent or an RV?
I had a tent. We all had tents.
What kind of tents?
It was one man per tent. It was a whole bunch of us.
Where'd you get the tent?
I'm sorry?
Hey, listen. Where'd you get the tent?
No, see, so that's what I'm asking you.
What kind of tent?
You know, I have a 4-man tent. But it was
you just said it was a 1-man tent. Now it was a 4-man tent?
A lot of people had 1-man tents.
How did you set it up?
What do you mean? How they set it up? They set up their own.
It's automatic?
Yeah, you pull it out of the bag and you set it. And you
a 4-man tent you pull out of a bag and it just poof, it's a tent. Oh, that's a pretty cool tent. I might get one of those just to see it. Yeah, all right. Oh my goodness.
Okay, so why are you getting away from the point? Why can't you?
Oh no, points were made. Several points were made.
I know you're making a point that I'm gay. But
no, I didn't know. Nope. As a liberal, why would you care if people thought you were gay? What are you, homophobe? There's nothing.
I don't care if they think I'm gay, but that's the point you're trying to drive home, is that because I went camping with a bunch of men, a bunch of friends of mine from different sides of the aisle. No,
I don't believe. No, but no. No one in this audience believes you went camping with this MAGA Democrat group of people. In single man tent. Listen, I got to run. We're going to be on the air in 20 seconds on the radio.
That's what I thought. Yeah. All right.
What do you thought? I've had you on for like 10 minutes. Oh, my goodness. All right, stand by, guys. Yes or no? Did he go camping in a tent? Oh, hold on. Oh, no, we got 1 more minute. If you're on hold, stand by. We've got 1 minute. I thought we were coming on now. We had 1 minute. Yes or no? Do you guys think Jeff went camping with a group of friends that some of them are MAGA and some of them are liberals? Yes or no? What do you guys think? I say no. What do you guys say? What say you? If you're on hold, stand by. Oh my goodness. No, I don't think he did. If you're new, my name's Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Make sure you subscribe. He doesn't even know what guys do together. Camping. Stand by. Welcome, everyone. It is, I cannot believe, Thursday morning already. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. I was taking calls in the pre-show. Oh, my goodness. We had some good calls there. Really interesting one with Jeff that just ended. You guys got to catch the early show on YouTube, Brian Craig Show on YouTube. Oh, man. Okay, so if you're on hold, stand by. Of course, after 42 days, the government's reopened. President Trump broke the back of the Democrats, and it's just absolutely amazing, isn't it? I mean, he just won. Not only, this is the thing. I followed so many of these issues, and I think, maybe I'm wrong, and I'm ready to be corrected. I don't, I can be wrong, no egos here, but not only was this the longest government shutdown in history, they're telling us, 42 days, I think this very well may be another historical milestone. This may be, and I think it is, the first government shutdown that the Republicans won and came out on top of. What do you guys think? Because my recollection with every other government shutdown is that the Democrats win and that the Republicans cave and give them whatever they want. Not this time. Donald John Trump, our favorite president, not only broke their back and defeated the Democrats, they got zero concessions from President Trump and the Republicans. And I do believe this is the first government shutdown battle that was won by the Republicans. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. I got a lot to cover. Our number is toll-free, 888-465-2631. I got to tell you, before I go to the phones, yesterday morning, I had some pretty devastating news about something and somebody not long before I went on the air yesterday. And on yesterday's program, I just was not feeling well. My mind was in another place. I'm not going to tell you who or what it was. It's not someone you would know, but or maybe you would. I don't know if you're a friend of mine. Maybe you have friends and family that listen. But I got some pretty bad, devastating news yesterday. No one died, I'll tell you that. But it was bad news with someone. And, you know, what's happened with my schedule, long ago, those early morning hours, I get more done. I wake up really early every morning. I've been up for about 5 hours already, okay? Maybe longer. I get so much done in the early morning hours. I love the overnights. I'm an overnight guy. I get so much done. And over the years, people start contacting me in these early morning hours. So I start getting text messages and even phone calls 1:30, 2:30 in the morning, you know, and it's pretty normal and regular these days. And I try to tell people that I know personally. I don't mind people contacting me. Like, for example, Brad out in San Francisco contacted me at like 2 in the morning the other day with the Turning Point event. I'm not talking about you, Brad. That was different. Okay, that was a news breaking thing. And actually, I had a news story first. Everybody's talking about that, but I had it early thanks to Brad, the Fun Mary attack by Antifa at Berkeley. But my personal friends text and call me at early hours of the morning now, and somebody gave me some really bad news about something, and it just it threw me off. In fact, it was so bad I almost didn't do the show yesterday. I almost took the day off, but I did it. And I must tell you, yesterday's show was a complete blur to me. I do remember some of it, but not most of it. It's one of those things. It's usually when I'm on the air, I can block out what's ever going on in my personal life. You know, we all go through problems, and I don't like to talk about my problems on the air too much. Steve does. But I don't like to. And it was, you know, it's life. It's life. But I like to take the time that I'm on the air during the show to forget about the rest of my life and deal with what's going on. This wasn't me. It's somebody that I know, and it's pretty bad news. But anyway, that's that. And those who know what I'm referencing know. Those who know. Those who don't, you'll never know. At least not for a while. All right, I'm going to go to the phones, and I also am going to talk about the Epstein drop that they put out there yesterday and much, much more. Let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
What's up, Brian?
Lots of winning. Trump won again. I'm excited.
How come he didn't win with the emails on Jeffrey Epstein? He's losing there, Brian. He's losing there.
Who's losing?
Trump is.
What?
Trump's losing with the Epstein.
Oh, okay. Good. Walk me through this. Trump is losing with the Epstein emails. Walk me through what it was exposed and how Trump lost.
Oh, so you didn't watch it then?
Yes, I did. But you say for those who may not have, walk us. You say Trump is. You said Trump is losing from the emails. The Epstein email dropped yesterday. Tell the audience what was dropped and how Trump is losing.
Well, he knew about the sex trafficking ring. He knew all about it. And it was exposed in the email that he knew all about it.
No.
Why do you think Ghislaine Maxwell is such preferable?
Nope, that was not in those emails. That was not in the email. In fact, when President Trump learned what Epstein was all about, he reported him to the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office.
No, he did not.
Yeah, Epstein's lawyer has done interviews recently and even talked about it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, well, we'll see. It's all going to come out.
You'll see. I thought you saw. I thought you said that Trump's losing with the Epstein emails.
It's all coming out.
It's all coming out. The guy's been dead for 6. Why is it? Hold on a second. Why is it coming out now? Why, if these Epstein files have all this incriminating evidence, why didn't the Democrats drop this over the last year instead of the lawfare and shooting him and stuff? No one's investigating Epstein. Nobody's investigating. He's been dead for 6 years.
They were still investigating. They were still investigating the whole thing under.
So these emails came out. What came out that was new and implicates Trump?
Emails that had Trump's name all over them. All 2,800 emails that had Trump's name all over them.
He mentioned Trump's name. He mentioned Trump's name. Where's the victim?
Why do you think he took Johnson
Listen, Jeff. Listen. I know you were humiliated, and the last 2 times you and I have talked on the phone, you've been humiliated. Yeah, that call, you called me yesterday. You called me, excuse me. You called me yesterday.
You are a fake patriot, you are a fake patriot, and you are a fake Christian.
You called yesterday about, hold on, Jeff. Jeff, slow down. You called yesterday and were humiliated about the 101 children that were missing that Trump rescued in Memphis. You called me in the pre-show before 6 on YouTube, and you had this BS story of going camping. You felt stupid from that, and you're having an anxiety attack right now, and you're making yourself look dumber than you did earlier.
No.
Yeah.
No, actually, I'm not. Because, no, really. No, you didn't.
Well, you're not very self-aware then.
I don't. Well, you are self-absorbed. You think that you have that control over people where you can make them feel stupid. You are very
No, you made yourself feel stupid.
Yes.
I didn't make you feel stupid.
I did not.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't feel stupid.
Yeah.
I called back because what I was trying to get to, my original point, and where you have control, you keyboard warrior, you have control over people, and you control the narrative.
I have control? Who do I have control over?
You can mute me and you can hang up on me. You have control.
I have let you call. Listen, Jeff. I have let you call. Excuse me. I have let you call in. Hold on. I've let you call in twice today. I've let you call in twice today.
Yeah, I feel. So do I get the golden ticket now?
No. I let you back through. Because I know you felt so bad over your last couple calls. I felt bad for you. But I do nothing but give you airtime. I'm not muting you.
Because I just keep trying to make a point, and you keep cutting me off so that your listeners don't listen, and that you hang up on it, and then you want to throw insults on top of it, change the subject, and you want to throw insults in there that you think are going to try to trigger me. But all you're doing is you're getting upset yourself.
You trigger yourself.
Because
you trigger yourself. Yeah.
Anyways, Brian, I just wanted to make that point about the Epstein files and about you yourself, that you condone that, and that if you believe in Christianity, you believe in Jesus Christ, that you're going to have to answer for that someday. That you condone pedophilia, and that your president...
See what I mean about hysterical? You see what I mean? All right, take care, Jeff.
What?
Oh, my goodness. He's out of his mind. Listen, guys, there's no better time to do your Christmas shopping at MyPillow than right now. With our promo code Kane at checkout, there's all kinds of deals. You know, there's a 50% off sale up there at MyPillow.com right now. The 3-in-1 sale on some of the most popular products. Do your Christmas shopping. They have a whole new health and wellness section, which I've never seen before. Just popped up on the website. I'm going to call Mike Lindell's office when I get off the air today and find out about that. But do your Christmas shopping. Do it now at mypillow.com. Use our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, for huge savings. If you're on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. We'll be back right after this. All right, we're clear. So what do you guys think about Jeff? I mean, my goodness. I mean, he is he's hysterical. All right, we're in break on the radio right now, so I'm going to take a call or two. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is John from Sunnyvale. You just spent a lot of time talking about gay sex for some reason.
What?
Republicans became Democrats. You started talking about man butthole. Oh my God, Brian, you turned gay instantly.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You're a homosexual, Brian, and that's fine. You admitted it on air. You watch gay porn, that's fine. And here we are.
I didn't. When did I say I watch gay porn?
You watch gay porn.
When did I say that I watch gay porn? I missed that part of the show. I tell you what. You pull up that. Pull up that audio. Pull up the audio of. Hold on a second. Pull up the audio of me saying I watch gay porn, and you can play it over the phone.
Dude, you don't have to say everything like exactly how it is.
No, rewind. I tell you what. Get the record. You're on hold. Get the recording of me saying that I watch gay porn, and you can play it over the phone on the air. Find the recording of me saying that, and you can play it over the phone.
Man, you're so hung up on that. Oh my God, hey, Republicans became Democrats, you became communists. Your totalitarianism. It's weird, man. Like, dude, just get a job, hippie.
This is my job. This is how I make a living, talking to losers like you.
Money, become an engineer or a lawyer or a doctor.
Are you kidding? I've got a great life. I live right down the street from the beach.
Whatever, fine. I don't care, dude. You haven't done shit, though. That's fine.
I've done a lot.
Hey, CIA's listening. Give me some money. Damn.
The CIA's listening.
Yeah, exactly. You're a fucking op, dog.
I'm an op?
You're an op, yeah, and you're queer. It's fine. You're a queer op, dog.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're trans, too, Brian. Oh, my God. Brian's trans. Hey, everyone. Brian's trans.
Yeah?
Is he coming off?
No.
Oh, he's still there.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, no. Transsexual.
What, are you out of material?
No. Keep going.
Nah, it sounds like you're out of material. I'm hearing some dead air there.
No. It's called sleep apnea. I served in the military like you didn't, you know?
Uh-huh.
You hate veterans also. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird, dude.
Okay. Listen, I got to run. But thank you for the call. All right? Take care. Oh, boy. Boy, I'm glad I took that one during the break, right? That's one I would not want to take on the radio. We'll be back in about 30 seconds, so stand by. If you're on hold, stand by. Oh, my goodness. See, these are unvetted, screenless calls. All opinions are welcome. Mm-hmm. But I am feeling much better than I was yesterday. Yesterday was rough. All right, here we go. 5 seconds. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show. You know, I'm feeling a lot better than I was yesterday, but I'm feeling a little smarter. I am wearing, I have a couple of these. I have several actually now, but what I'm wearing now is one of my hats of wisdom. And this is a great Make America Great Again hat. And this one that I'm wearing has been seen with the president's own eyes, as close as I am to the microphone I'm speaking into, multiple times. I've worn this exact Make America Great Again hat in his presence. This one maybe 4 times, something like that. And because his eyes have gazed on this hat, I always feel a little smarter and sharper when I'm wearing this MAGA hat or one of the others that the president has seen with his own eyes up close. That's why I call it the hat of wisdom. It's kind of like that episode of Star Trek, Spock's brain. Remember that? Dr. McCoy, they put the thing on his head and he could do brain surgery. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Jordan from Las Vegas.
Jordan in Vegas. What's on your mind?
I'm here to clear on the earlier call, saying you like gay porn. I know exactly what he's talking about, and that is not what it says. By the way, it was something else. There's like those AI.
Wait a minute. What was he talking about?
So there's this AI that has your voice, and it's talking about how regular relationships are not passion enough, but gay sex is more passion than regular whatever. But that's the AI. That's not your voice.
Oh.
I clearly know that. But that guy is clearly fucking stupid.
Okay, first dump of the day, Mike. First dump of the day. Oh, my goodness. Oh, boy, yeah. Everybody wants to be famous. Do you really? Do you really? All right, if you're on hold, stand by while we wait for the delay to re-engage. Oh, man, this is going to be one of those days, isn't it? It really is. I wish that that language was allowed, but it is not. All right, before we go back to the phones while we wait for the delay to re-engage, I want to talk about a couple of things that are in the news right now, okay? This one particular thing about the government shutdown. Typically, government shutdowns are not things that I really talk about too much when they happen because, well, first off, they come and go so quick. This was a longer one. And we were really seeing the real world impacts of it because of the SNAP benefits and the air traffic controllers and everything else. And I got to tell you, I would not be flying until these guys got back to work, right? They're stressed anyway with that kind of job. They're uber stressed when they're not getting paid. And a lot of them are pissed off, right? And I was wondering if this went on long enough, if the president was going to bring in some military air traffic controllers. And I don't know how qualified they are to go work at a major commercial airport out of the blue. But this would not be a time that I would fly because, President Trump's going to give that $10,000 bonus to the air traffic controllers that stayed on the job. And a lot of them didn't. So they're not going to get the bonus. There's got to be a lot of inner control tower hostility and anger going on. You know what I mean? These air traffic controllers, they're sketch anyway, right? So the stress they've been under, and now this liberal rage, this Trump derangement suffering rage, some of them are going to have because they left and didn't stay at work, and they're not getting the 10 grand. It's not a good time to be an air traffic controller. But I'll tell you this, Sean Duffy, the transportation secretary. The transportation secretary typically is a secretary position that's just given to somebody that the president, whoever it is, owes something to, an endorsement or something, and they don't really do too much. I am so impressed by Sean Duffy. I hear him talk about the air traffic controllers. I hear him talk about transportation, even NASA. He is so up to speed on everything involving transportation in this country, isn't he? Every time you see him on TV. And remember Mayor Pete? He didn't know what the heck was going on. His biggest accomplishment was riding a bicycle a block from his SUV to the White House to promote bicycle transportation. He was such a boob. But Sean Duffy, we have so many great future MAGA presidents and vice presidents and senators and governors, that are in this administration. But Sean Duffy is one of he's kind of like off on the, this Department of Transportation. He is very impressive. Would you be confident with him as president or vice president? I would. He is really impressive. He is very competent. In fact, he's one of the most competent people I've ever seen in a presidential cabinet, Sean Duffy. All right, let's see here. We'll go back to the phones. Delay re-engaged. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Steve from Maggot Martin County.
Hey, speak up, MAGA Martin County.
Hey, good morning. I don't think anybody that took off from the air traffic controllers should get any pay for their time missed, number one. Number two, all these federal employees what they signed up for before they took the job, and I don't think we should have to pay them back pay period because it didn't work. They can go get a second job. You know, why should we have to support people sitting at home for 2 months?
Well, I'm just not trustworthy of the air traffic controllers that hate Trump that are coming back to work right now. I just don't think that. I think they're unhinged, and I don't think it's safe for them to be in control towers.
They're not loyal. They're not loyal Americans, and you know, this is part of the deal. You know, the Democrats want to keep it shut down. You know, then vote for Republican next time.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
You know, and that clown, that Jeff guy that keeps calling in, that guy's got PDS. I mean, he is so deranged.
Brian Craig derangement syndrome.
Oh yeah. He's more likely he might get pedophile for all.
He's not. He's not. You don't call people that. He's just a lunatic. He's a deranged loon.
Yeah, he's a lunatic. I mean, I don't like to sugarcoat people. I don't have a filter. I keep it on.
Yeah, well, you got to have a filter. You don't accuse. You don't accuse people. You know that's what the left do. You don't accuse people of crimes.
Yeah.
Right? That's what they do.
You know, another thing that they're saying, well, Trump shouldn't go after all his past enemies. Yeah, I think he needs to hammer everybody that did something illegal to him and make it known that, you know, you can't just have a political lawfare against ex-president just because you didn't like him.
Yeah.
So now it's time to put the hammer down to these people, let them know you're going to be prosecuted. Hopefully they all go to jail. We'll see. But, you know, leave finding guilty, and, you know, that shows, you know, there's no, you can't put anything past him. I mean, that Colville, or whatever his name is, the old Southern boy.
Uh-huh.
I mean, he's a lunatic. He's on the radio saying he needs to pack the courts, make Puerto Rico and another place states, and you know, he's just a plain Jane lunatic. And Democrats will vote for anything with a D in front of it.
That's true.
How bad they are.
That is true. No doubt about it.
So have a good day.
All right, take care. If you're on hold, stand by. We're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour. I'm Brian, Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Our number is toll-free, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. Back right after this. All right, we're clear. Oh, my goodness. Let me take another call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Once, twice. All right, you missed your chance. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yep, what's your name? Oh, hold on a second. Let me answer some of these calls. Yeah, all right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yes. Once, twice. Okay, all right. Oh boy, I tell you, it's one of those days. One of those days. Yeah, if you're on hold, hang in there. I want to tell you guys about Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing. You know, Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing, he'll never sell you a roof you do not need. You hear us say that a lot. And what that means is if you need just a simple repair, he will do it. I don't know any other roofer that says that. You know, before we knew Tom Laporta, we had a hurricane, 20 plus years ago, and I just needed a simple repair. I couldn't find a roofer that would do it. They said, oh, no, we only sell new roofs. Not Tom Laporta. Now, of course, if you need a new roof, he'll tell you, and he'll do the work for you. But if you just need a simple repair, he'll do that too. He works on every type of structure, residential, commercial, municipal, even does church roofs, covers both the east and west coast of Florida, everywhere in between as well. He works with every type of roofing material and can handle a job of any size, whether it's one home, one office building, one government building, or an HOA that has over 450 units. He can handle that too. Give him a call. This number rings directly to Tom Laporta's cell phone, 954-604-4602. You can call or text 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaRoofing.com. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. We're going to take a quick break and be right back. All right. If you're on hold, hang in there. We'll be back in about 30 seconds, and I'll go back to the phones. Have the liberals been, like, totally unhinged today or what on the phones? What's going on? You know what it is? It's because we won. That's what it is. We're winning, and they can't handle it. 10 seconds. We'll be back. Welcome back, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Once, twice. All right. You missed. Oh, as I hit the button when they finally chimed in. You can call back. The rest of you on hold, hang in there. Our toll-free number, by the way, is 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are located. And if you're on hold, you hang in there. We will get back to the phones in just a bit. A couple of things I wanted to mention. Let me pull this up first. Let's see. Where was this? Okay. There's another socialist candidate, this time out west in Seattle. There's a girl who's about to win, they say, according to the latest polls, the mayor's race in Seattle and become a socialist. And, we'll have a socialist mayor there. And there's this trend of these Democratic socialists winning races. While that is true, and this girl here lives at home with her parents, and her parents are funding the campaign. That's just who you want to be the chief executive. I don't know how major of a city Seattle is, but putting somebody in charge, do they have a strong mayor there? I don't know. Is it like New York where they actually have to do things, or are they just like a lot of mayors are just like city council members. They don't do anything and they have city managers. I don't know how Seattle operates. But a little different take on this. I was thinking about this yesterday. These Democratic socialists, the Democrats have always been socialist. They were just hiding it. They were in the closet. Every Democrat has been a socialist our entire life, maybe even communist. And I'm talking about Franklin Roosevelt and all of them, okay? So not much has changed other than how they're identifying themselves. So I don't think there's a need to panic if you have the proper perspective. Now, some are more socialist than others, but the Democrats have been socialist. Lyndon Johnson and FDR, with all the social welfare that they brought us, how's that not socialism or even communism? Right? Yeah. So, no, it's not, I know it seems new. All they're doing is changing the branding. That's all. It's the same people with the same viewpoints. All right. 888-465-2631 is our number. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, boy. We're going to have a fun day. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Mm-hmm.
Hello?
Yep, you're on the air. Yes.
Are you talking to me?
Sounds like you.
Hi. Hello, Mr. Craig. How are you?
Good. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name's Loretta, and I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana.
All right. What's up, Loretta in New Orleans?
What's the topic today? Is there anything that you'd like to discuss?
Well, you called me, right? I didn't call you, so I'm assuming you had something on your mind, or are you just a lonely lady in New Orleans?
No, I'm not lonely.
You're not, huh?
No, sir. Would you like to discuss how do you consider it a win for 40 million Americans to lose their health care or for it to become unaffordable for them?
Well, nothing you said is true. Who are these Americans that have lost their health care?
Well, from what I understand, the ACA, also known as Obamacare, we're getting subsidies since COVID, and these subsidies will be removed now and increase their principal up to 4 times, from about $550 to as much as $2,500 to $4,000.
Oh my goodness! Oh wow, tough. That's pretty tough. Well, you know, I often tell people, yeah, it's a win. I'm uninsured. I do not have any kind of health insurance. None. I'm self-insured.
Sorry.
I am self-insured.
Okay.
When I go to the doctor, I pay for it myself.
Okay. If there's a catastrophic accident, I'm an RN, and I've seen many patients.
What kind of RN are you? What kind of RN are you?
Critical care nurse. I've worked in the ICU for many years.
Okay, so you're dealing with it for the most part. When you talk about health insurance, okay, what the Democrats were fighting for, by the way, they weren't fighting for Americans' health insurance with Obamacare. They were fighting for South Americans, for the most part, and them to have free health care through Obamacare, not United States of Americans. That's number one.
There was nothing in that bill that would have given undocumented
Undocumented, yeah. No, you're wrong. In fact, that's why President Trump was fighting it. They wanted to have, excuse me, let me finish. The Democrats wanted Medicaid to continue to cover the illegals, because what's happened is, I don't know the situation in Louisiana, but in blue states like California, as an example, in blue states, they are. Did I lose you?
No.
Okay. In blue states like California, they've been committing Medicaid fraud. Illegals that don't qualify for Medicaid, they use the walk-in clinics and they use the emergency rooms as free clinics, and they illegally sign them up for Medicaid. They've been doing this for decades, and these states have been getting reimbursed from the federal government. President Trump ended that, and the Democrats, with this budget, were trying to keep that in place because these blue states are going to go bankrupt because they're not getting reimbursed for the illegals' Medicaid that they're illegally getting anymore. That's what President Trump was standing up to.
Okay, well, what I do know is that it's a bipartisan. Both parties agree for life-saving emergency care for undocumented, for all.
Well, everybody believes that. Like if you get hit by a bus or you get shot or something, yes, you're treated. But that's not what's happening. Illegals are going to the emergency room when they got a runny nose, and then they're racking up thousands of dollars in bills.
They're not covered by any kind of federal aid whatsoever. And
they have been illegally getting Medicaid and all over the country in blue cities through Medicaid fraud. And President Trump clamped down on that.
Undocumented immigrants are not eligible for any federal medical
But they've been committing fraud to give it to them. Now, so far as health insurance, the reason I am not insured is because of Obamacare. Obamacare drove health insurance premiums and deductibles through the roof. And I'm uninsured by choice because for my age, to have meaningful health insurance, I would have a massive monthly premium and many thousands of dollars in a deductible before I got 10 cents of coverage.
It is now. It would have been
started day one.
You could have chosen a good coverage for as low as $535 a month.
Just $535 a month. Before Obamacare, my insurance was less than $200 a month. It more than doubled immediately with thousands of dollars in a deductible before I got coverage. But see, here's the deal. Your view, you're a critical care nurse, so you're seeing people that are in some pretty bad situations. That's not common. Most people are like me, 100% healthy and don't need insurance. Most people have no need for insurance.
When you have a catastrophic accident, a car accident, a heart attack, a stroke.
Your car insurance covers your emergency room care for a car accident.
Unless it's a single car accident and you're at fault or something.
Now, if you have full, well, that's uncommon in younger people. Most people have no need for health insurance.
We spend twice as much on our health. We're the only civilized country, what we would consider a civilized country, that doesn't have universal health care. Now, I'm not asking.
Well, slow down for a second. Let's slow down for a second. I told, excuse me, let me give you an example. Canada is
Can I finish one sentence?
Go ahead.
Thank you. So we spend twice as much in America as any of the other countries that have universal health care, but we do not get the same, we have a shorter life expectancy. It costs us twice as much to be, unfortunately, in positions like you where people are not covered at all.
Okay, let me give you. Okay, hold on. I'm up against a break. I'm short on time. I want to tell you this real quick. My wife has a. Excuse me. $40 billion. Yeah, whatever. We didn't send $40 billion to Argentina. That's not true.
You knew where I was talking about?
Yeah, because I know that's not true. But anyway, my wife has a cousin who's. Excuse me, it's my turn, Nurse Ratchet. My wife has a cousin.
Okay.
Well, you're rude. You're rude. My wife has a cousin who's. See, here you are. Here's Nurse Ratchet again. See, your patients are in critical care. They can't speak, so you're used to going on. My wife has a cousin in Canada. They have universal health care. He needed to have some heart scans. They told him 6 months. He's in Canada. 6 months. So we got on a plane and flew to Florida, went to a walk-in clinic, paid for it, and took the scans back to Canada to his doctor. Universal health care kills people in these countries. Kills people. Well, in fact, they put off the treatment hoping they kill you. They want you to die. So they put off it's like the VA. Look at how many veterans get mistreated at the government socialized VA system.
Absolutely. I think it needs major reform, and I do believe that there should be private options, just like there are now.
Gee.
And employment.
Well, listen, I gotta run for a break. I'm late for a commercial break, but I appreciate the call. All right, take care. Nurse Ratchet in New Orleans, Louisiana. Let me talk about this incredible offer for Sloman's. By the way, I'm going to give you this number to Sloman's for this good deal here that they got. It's an amazing deal. You can call them no matter where you're located in the United States. This would make a great Christmas gift for your own family and your own home, for your spouse, your husband, your wife. But you know what? You could also get this incredible deal for your parents, adult parents that you don't live with anymore, or your adult children who are living on their own. This is a great gift to get for your children that are living on their own. Sloman's Home Security is offering a free home security system with free professional installation and 24/7 central station monitoring for just $24.95 a month for 5 years. All you have to do is call 833-283-5050. 833-283-5050. It's a free home security system and professional installation. It's absolutely free. Your home security system from Sloman's includes a touchscreen keypad, 3 door or window sensors, a motion detector, notifications, and a remote keypad access to it so you can check in anytime no matter where you are. Give them a call no matter where you are. This is a great gift for mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, your adult kids that have moved out, or for yourself in your own home. Call Sloman's 833-283-5050. 833-283-5050. That's 833-283-5050. Call us on hold, stand by. I'm Brian. We'll be back right after this. All right, we are back. You see what I mean? She is a nurse. So she's dealing with sick people all the time. So in her world, everyone's sick and dying. She works in a critical care unit. That's not most people. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, I'm Raj from Kentucky.
Yeah, Raj in Kentucky. What's on your mind?
Yeah, so I saw you talking about the ACA with that RN.
You know, these seminar callers, you notice they all say ACA instead of Obamacare? It's Obamacare. That's what it's known as, okay, Kentucky?
Okay, we can go by Obamacare if that's what you want.
Well, that's what people know it as, ACA. All right, what's on your mind?
Yeah, so, I don't know, I just had a little bit of criticism about how you talked about it. You do realize that the people from the red states, the good, hardworking Americans who may be on Obamacare, you know they're going to be affected by this too. It's not just the illegals, right?
Okay.
And then
affected how? How are Americans in red states going to be impacted in a negative way?
They're going to see premium increases, right?
My premiums didn't go up.
So the reduction of these enhanced subsidies is not going to...
No, I am self-insured. When I go to the doctor, I pay for it out of my pocket.
We don't really care about your self-insurance status, right?
I care. It's me.
Yeah. So what's going to happen?
Why should people who don't need health insurance pay a huge monthly premium and a huge deductible every month?
Most of the time it's for catastrophic care, right? It's like having car insurance. You don't expect you're going to rear-end someone, but sometimes you could rear-end someone.
But that's still rare. Now, obviously, you have some type of brain disorder, so maybe you need the Obamacare. But most people are perfectly healthy and don't need that insurance all the time.
Right, but I mean, something could still happen, right? You could break your...
Well, anything could happen. Aliens could invade the Earth.
Not be covered by car insurance. Could not be covered by workman's comp. I mean, those things can happen.
I don't have workman's comp. I don't have workman's comp. See, you want to live in a socialist system or a communist system where you don't have to do anything but sit around on your Twitch stream and play video games and smoke weed while everyone's paying for all your crap.
Yeah, that's your assumption, but no, not really.
Oh, really? Tell me about yourself then.
No, see, like, this is the weird thing about you. You really love to deflect away from the policy, and you always want to talk about
people's opinions on policy is based on their own personal situation in life. Always. That's why I do that.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
By the way, I appreciate you being a regular listener. I appreciate you being a regular listener of mine since you're... Hey, I gotta run. We're coming back from a break in 30 seconds. Callers on hold, you stand by. Oh, my goodness. I'll go back to the phones when we get back. All right, stand by. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Is it just me, or are the liberal callers just a little deranged lately? All right, the number is toll-free, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. Hold on, I got to answer. All these lines are ringing off the hook. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Once, twice. All right, you missed your chance. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Melissa in Tennessee.
Hey, Melissa, how you doing?
Fine. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking.
Hold on for a second. Okay, can you hear me?
Indeed, I can. Yes.
Okay, I was just wondering what you thought about Trump's comment about the H-1B visas on Laura Ingraham the other night.
What's the comment? What did he say?
Well, that he's for it.
Yeah.
For the,
For the student. You're talking about the Chinese. You're talking about the Chinese students.
Yes. The foreign. Yeah.
Oh, I support. Yeah.
Because he said we didn't have the talent here.
What's your thought?
I'm not pleased with what
we don't.
Well, I'm not pleased with what he said.
Hey, truth hurts.
Well, I mean, that's not.
Let's talk. No, I'm glad you brought this up. I was waiting for somebody to bring this up, and I'm surprised no one did. It took 2 days. I
feel like it's our education system.
Yes. Okay. Listen. Slow down for a second. I'm so glad you called about this. Okay. What he's talking about are college students and recent college grads. So that's people that are in their early to mid 20s, typically the under 30s, right?
Yeah.
You listen. You how often do you listen to my program?
Oh, a long time.
Okay, so
I've called you several times.
Okay, so
Tennessee, I don't know.
I know who you are. I know who you are. You called me for years, right? So you hear these.
Yeah, I've called you.
Okay, you hear these guys like this idiot I was just talking to that are in their 20s, the under 30s. Do any of them sound highly qualified? How many of them sound highly qualified to do anything other than to be a gamer?
Yeah, I know, and that is a thing, nowadays.
It's a problem.
Well, my son's 24. Yeah, my son's 24. He's a hard worker.
Yeah.
And he does good for himself, and he's got a lot of friends. But I just didn't like, Charlie Kirk. That was one of his things on his list that we need to get rid of.
Well, there's a couple things here. My daughter's 26, right? Your son's 24. Yeah. They're smart and everything else, but they've got good upbringing. Most people in their 20s today that are the age that President Trump was talking about are socialist losers, the ones that just put Mamdani in the mayor in Gracie Mansion in New York. We don't have a good pool of people. And I'll tell you 2 things about what he said, because it was in particular about the Chinese. I've known Chinese people my entire life. The smartest people I have ever known in my life are Chinese people. They're brilliant and very successful. And President Trump wants. We have a brain drain in this country, and it's through the education system and all this crap that's just destroyed their brains. A lady called me yesterday and said, they let them use calculators now. So the reason there's so much math in school is to train your brain to think, but they use calculators now. So we have to
have AI taken over.
Exactly. So what President Trump was saying was a couple of things. We do have a brain problem in this country with college-age people. You hear them call me every day on the phones. And another thing is this. These brilliant minds from around the world, we want them to come here and be brilliant when they graduate college, not take their brilliance to other countries so that they can send rockets to the moon and stuff like we've done. So no, I agree with what he said. Yeah. It was pretty smart what he said. It was painful to hear, but it's true.
Okay, but let me say this. That was one of the Charlie Kirks that was on his list. We need to get rid of those. And I'm 100% with Charlie Kirk. I miss Charlie Kirk greatly. He was a strong voice for us. Trump, he gets in there, and I love Trump. I'm a trumpet, don't get me wrong. But if somebody's in the wrong, it's like my kids. If somebody's in the wrong, I say they're in the wrong. I don't take up for people. But I'm not saying Trump's in the wrong, but I'm not in agreement with that. And another thing is,
it's got to be.
Well, like Charlie Kirk, everything that he's listed out, he listed like 5 or 6 things, and H-1B visas was one of them. We got to get rid of.
Well, hold on a second here. Listen. I'm a supporter of the late great Charlie Kirk, but he wasn't Trump and he's not Jesus. Not everything he said was accurate.
No,
and I disagreed with him from time to time on things. Okay. The last time I disagreed with him is he started all this Epstein talk at a Turning Point event, not long before the Never Trumpers assassinated him, right? And I talked about that on the air.
Yeah.
So, and he was also young, and I bet you that if Charlie Kirk talked with the president, he would probably have thought, oh, that's interesting. But he was also catering his message to young American college kids, too.
Yeah, that's when Trump helped Trump win the election.
I mean, when's the last time you've heard somebody that's under 30 call me who's got half a brain that you would want to be running anything?
I know. know. Yes, I know. Half of them's addicted to games, and they're living in their parents' basement. But it was another thing that Charlie said. You know, he listed off those things, and then he said, you know, I just want to say this, and then I'll let you go. Not too long ago, Trump was all anti-immigration, illegal immigration, all that. And, you know, that woman, I've told you, I think this before, that Congress lady in Texas was trying to get that amnesty going for the workers. And then that Trump came on and he said in a speech, well, we're going to do something for the farmers. And Charlie was like, hold up. We cannot get this in. They're going to try to sneak this amnesty bill in. We cannot do this. You know, and he was like a voice. And then within 2 days, Trump was like, we're not going to do amnesty for the farmers. We're not going to do anything for the farmers. And I was like, well, Charlie got a hope of it.
Well, yeah,
you know?
well, of course.
You know, he gets up there.
Well, they stopped. He was an advisor to the president, no doubt about it. Yeah, but you know, but we have a problem. Listen, when there's listen, hold on a second. When the Soviet Union collapsed, the smart, educated people fled immediately to go around the world to make money, and they had a period of a brain drain in Russia. It was pretty severe. We have that in this country. Because of all the things we talked about. If we relied just on American college-age kids, this country would collapse. I'm sorry.
Well, I think, I disagree. I think we need to focus on our kids, not the Chinese kids.
All right.
And whatever's wrong with our kids, it needs to be fixed. It can't just keep ignoring it and keep rolling the ball down the road.
Okay.
You know?
We're gonna agree to disagree. Take care. I want to talk about Dr. Philip Appleton. Oh man, you know, I try to think of what my life would be like if I never would have met Dr. Appleton. Not only did he rid me of pain 7 times, he rid me of terrible pains. I mean, the kind of pains that would make me go to sleep. The types of pains, like, you know, this was just terrible. I went to Halloween Horror Nights at Universal a couple weeks ago. Remember, I talked about this a few times. That was the first time. I had not gone in a couple of years because my daughter had gone to California. That was the first time I went since Dr. Appleton rid me of knee pain. And I didn't know this or realize this until like the next day. But I walked around that theme park all day, all night, from 3 in the afternoon to about 2 a.m. And for the first time, I was not in pain and I wasn't tired. And I could have gone for hours longer because I'm living a pain-free life now in my knee. And when I was walking around, I was always in pain. No more, thanks to Dr. Appleton's robotic laser away pain treatment. Give him a call. Appointments are not necessary. Walk-ins are welcome and consultations are free. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710 and online, AppletonCairo.com. Go see Dr. Appleton and say bye-bye to your pain. We'll be back right after our top of the hour break. Oh. All right, we'll be back on the radio shortly. Hold on. Huh. Oh, yes. All right. Okay, we got about 2 minutes. We'll be back. So I'm going to take a call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Greg. This is Vivi from Central Florida. I would like to share in the conversation about...
Yeah, hold on. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to answer some lines here. You sound like you got an interesting call. So we're going to be back in less than 2 minutes. This is on the radio, so I'm going to put you on hold and take you when we get back on the radio.
Okay.
Okay. If it's one of those callers that has nothing to say, I don't mind taking that off the radio. But if it's a caller with content, I want to do it on the air. So I'm going to put you back on hold. All right. All right. Stand by. You know what I mean? If somebody's got some good information, we're going to do it. Hold on. I have got so much going on. Oh my goodness. Okay. Great. I was just talking with Ian, our travel agent from Cruise and Travel Depot, about our cruise. I'm going to call him up a little later. Oh man. I need the MAGA cruise now. I need a week vacation. I am going to be live streaming from the ship. So I'm going to be off on the radio that week, but I'll be here on YouTube. So make sure you guys keep that notification bell on. And those of you going on the cruise, maybe you can be my co-host maybe one day. Come to my cabin, we'll do the show together. But we got 10 seconds and we'll be back. All right, welcome back, everyone. The 7 o'clock hour has begun. My name is Brian Craig. This is Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. All right, to the phones we go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Tim from Michigan.
Oh, hey, Tim. Hold on, Tim. Okay, hold on. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Greg. This is Vivi from Central Florida.
Hey.
So I wanted to add into the conversation about the medical.
Yes.
So my mom and dad were in and out of the hospital for more than 10 times, and I learned a lot why they were a patient. Number one, the nurses and patients do not get into the stuff financially. So I can't understand what Nurse Raj had said, what she said, because they don't get involved. They have people dedicated, involved in who's going to pay and everything like that.
Yes.
They don't get involved.
Yeah.
Number two, my mother was, when she went in one of the rehab centers that she was, so the aide of the institution there was informing me that her mother, that came from another country, a foreign country, came here to Central Florida, got sick. The bill was over $25,000.
Ooh.
And guess who paid for it? The federal government.
Yeah.
And that's where I learned that the federal government pays for illegals. And that is like 7 years ago.
And even though there's sometimes the illegals get it through their anchor babies, okay? Because they legally qualify, but there's a lot of fraud too. You know, hospitals are rackets. I mean, you know, I don't know. Here in Florida, we probably have more hospitals and things than a lot of places because we have so many old people, right? We have the oldest population in the country. But they here in Florida, hospitals build separate emergency rooms all over town that are basically like retail emergency rooms, and then they advertise them on billboards and on television. It's such a racket. You go in, like there was one time I went in, I was dehydrated and went to the emergency room to get IV. They wanted to run thousands of dollars in tests. You know, and I said, I don't need all these scans. I don't have insurance. And boy, they really intimidated me. They made me sign all this stuff that I was leaving. And when I left, the doctor wouldn't discharge me because I wouldn't get all these expensive scans and different things and everything that I didn't need. It's a racket. And you know, a lot of the doctors and nurses that work in these hospital ERs, they're trained that way. So they may not even understand what it is they're doing, but maybe they do. They're doing, every person that comes into that emergency, like, you know, the average hospital stay is 5 days. Do you know why?
Oh, because the insurance won't pay the rest.
That's correct. Automatically, when the insurance stops paying, you're discharged. You're cured. Go home.
Exactly.
5 days.
Magically.
Yeah.
Magically.
It's amazing. I remember Steve Kane went a couple years back. Steve went to the hospital. He's like, I don't know when I'm going to be out. And I told him what day. I said, you're going to be like, I can't remember the day, but it was like, oh, you'll be out Wednesday. He said, why? I said, that's the fifth. That's the 5th day. Your insurance only covers 5. And sure enough, he was out.
Yeah, well, sometimes they'll go down to 3 days.
Yeah.
One of the phrase that they use is CYA, cover your ASS. So that, I think, when they use those phrases, is to protect the hospital. But like you say, they run up the bills.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you tell them you don't have insurance, you'd be surprised how many tests you don't need. It's miraculous.
Right.
It's miraculous.
Right.
And I'll tell you another thing, too. This is another thing. When you're not insured, okay, like when I went in, I had a bad skateboard. This was before I knew Dr. Appleton. I had a really bad skateboard accident, and I went to the ER, and I didn't have insurance. And for that, I got full body x-rays and stuff. When you're yeah, it was a lot. I didn't break anything, thankfully. But when, and by the way, the doctors knew I didn't break anything. They examined me, but they did all the x-rays anyway. When you're self-pay, you pay a lot less. There's a different fee. When the insurance company is paying, it's a lot more.
Adding on to that, my daughters could not afford Obamacare. It was more cheaper for them to save the money than to purchase the Obamacare. So I don't know what people are talking about.
Yeah.
Because it was very unaffordable. There's nothing affordable about it.
You know, what I do, okay, we have great sponsors, okay? When I need blood work, I go to any lab test now of Boca or any lab test now of Coral Springs. And I take they'll send the results to your doctor, or they'll give them to you. You can take to the doctor, and I get the printout and take them to my doctor. And and I tell them, and they'll ask me, oh, wow, these are a lot of tests. How much you pay for? And I tell them, like, wow, that's cheap. And they send their patients there, you know. And that's, you know, when you don't have insurance, if you're a normal, healthy person like I am, it's a lot cheaper than you think. You know, now we also have great doctors, like, you know, like I thought that I might have blockage. So, you know, I'm very lucky. I go to Life Imaging FLA and I got the heart scan and I have no blockage or plaque, you know. So but you know, our sponsors, the prices are very good. You know, you hear me talk about them. You know, I get an injury. I don't go to the ER now unless I'm bleeding. I go see Dr. Appleton when I have an injury or a fall. And if he tells me I need to go somewhere else, I will. You know what I mean? But you know, so you can do it on your own for a way that's affordable. And a lot cheaper than if I had insurance.
He's truly looking after you. So, just because he doesn't refer you to another doctor doesn't mean that he's not doing his job, or if he doesn't run all that ratchet bill up, doesn't mean he's not doing his job.
Exactly. I remember when I went to see Dr. Appleton, you hear me talk about this in the commercials sometimes, my last skateboard accident, when I finally retired the board with my shoulder, I was in so much pain. And Dr. Appleton treated me. I was feeling relief before I left his office. And I said, Doc, if I'd have gone to the orthopedic, they'd have had a surgery scheduled by Thursday. He's like, oh yeah, they would have. So when you're insured, you get worse health care because they do all kinds of things that you don't need, like surgeries and other tests. You get better health care. If you're a regular, normal, healthy person like me, which is most everybody, you get better health care when you're uninsured because you're not getting unnecessary tests and surgeries.
Right. And exposing to you all that radiation.
Correct.
Being exposed.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, it's been nice talking to you, Greg. I know you have a lot of other people.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. I got to say, you too. We've had some great quality callers today, haven't we? Absolutely. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Hey, Doug.
It's so nice to see that the Republicans finally stood up to the Democrats and ended this nonsense and all that stuff that Elon Musk showed that they want to spend their money here, everywhere. And now Speaker Johnson, I think, said 40% of the illegals were getting benefits they weren't entitled to. Man, that's a lot of money. I'm hoping now there'll be an investigation to find out how the hell did they possibly get all these millions and billions of dollars being wasted on them when they weren't supposed to get it.
There's a whole business. I bet you. A lot of it's done. Like when I went to the ER from my skateboard accident years ago. This was years ago. Many of you may have seen it. I was live streaming online while I was on my skateboard. And I was talking to the chat room, and I lost coordination with my feet, the board, and the ground, and I fell. And they brought the social worker right to me to sign me up for Medicaid, right? Which I didn't qualify for. They asked me 2 questions, and you don't qualify. I said, I told you I wouldn't qualify. But a lot of the fraud is done right there in the ER with the social worker or the billing person with these illegals signing them up for Medicare or Medicaid. It's done right there.
Well, but when they sign up, then the government's supposed to be responsible and find out, oh no, you don't get it. But instead, they just let it go through, and whoever's allowing it to go through, those people need to be prosecuted because, man, they're robbing us. They're basically sticking us up, and we were going along with it, and now it's not going to happen anymore. Well,
back in the 90s, when my wife and I first got married, is when she first got diagnosed with her health condition that you guys hear me talk about from time to time, and there weren't a lot of doctors to treat that. We had to go to Los Angeles, and her doctor was at UCLA, and his office was at those of you that know LA, was at the UCLA in Torrance, which is and we had to enter through the ER to get to where her doctor was. I felt like when I walked through the front door into the ER at UCLA Torrance's hospital, I felt like I walked through a doorway that immediately transported us to Mexico. It was, it was, I don't know, I might have saw people with their goats in there waiting to see a doctor. And they were, it was ridiculous. It was obviously a clinic, not an emergency room. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, they're abusing the system. They know how to do it. I don't know how to get away with it.
Well, look at all these SNAP people that are getting $4,000 a month. We saw during the shutdown.
Yep. The system is corrupt, and they need to fix it. And hopefully now we'll get some results here.
That's right.
Now, the other thing I want to say is I became self-insured when my daughter was born, and I go into with Blue Cross and Blue Shield. And they tell me, you have a $12,000 out-of-pocket first before you can get any coverage.
That's right. People don't know.
And it's going to cost you. We're going to have to bill you $5,000. But if you pay us cash, you can pay a lot less money. So I said, no, I'll pay cash.
See, that's
the next day. I called Blue Cross and told cancel a policy.
See, that's why people like Doug and I can afford it. but it's a stupid financial decision. I mean, that 12,000.
Right.
I mean, what can you do with that 12,000? I could go buy 3 ounces of gold. Little less, little less than 3 ounces.
The insurance companies are really miserable things. They need to be looked into and have some more restrictions on them because they abuse it.
All right, Doug, I'm late for the break. I got to run. Thank you for the call. Since I talked about Dr. Appleton so much, let me give out his number because he's amazing. You know, these falls I've gone for that he's treated me. Oh man, it's amazing. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. We'll be right back. All right. If you're on hold, I'll take a call. What the heck? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, I'm Tim from Michigan.
Hey.
I had a question regarding these $2,000 checks he wants to send out to people. Do you feel he should do that? And do you think it has anything to do with this Supreme Court decision coming down?
Yeah, I think he should do it. It's a dividend from the tariffs. The country is making billions of dollars a week, and I'm in favor of. Hopefully, I'll not make too much and get that. It'll be $4,000. My wife wants to buy a new living room set, so I'm in favor of that. Yeah.
Don't you think it could add to inflation if we throw all these millions and billions?
It'll be a stimulus. It'll be an economic stimulus. Most people will go out and do what my wife is going to do: buy something.
Well, if you throw all this money into the economy and the inventories and supply is not up to par, it's going to create inflation.
It's a one-time thing. It's a one-time thing. Most people that are going to go and spend the money will do it within the first week or two. It won't have an impact on inflation. Now, if we were getting $2,000 each every week, it might. But no. No. It'll probably be an annual event, but no, it's not going to cause inflation. It's not. It's a one-time thing, a one-time-a-year thing. If it was every month or every week, it might. But no.
So if you were, let's say you were $1 million in debt, and you happen to get another credit card, you think that'd be a smart thing to do?
No.
Right. So why don't we use that money? I believe it has to do with the Supreme Court decision because of the tax problem.
Well, the Supreme Court has been ruling in Trump's favor on everything, right? Like with the SNAP benefits. I
know.
So I'm not worried about that.
About this one.
I know you want to pay off the deficit, which he's going to put some. He's going to do that too. But just you pay taxes. I pay taxes. I view it as just getting some of my taxes back.
Yeah. I say let's pay the debt down. Let's do it.
Well, I say let's pay. I say let people. I say let people get some of their tax money back and let them decide what they want to pay with it, not the government. Listen, we're coming back. We're coming back from the break. But I appreciate the call. Oh boy, he's either a rich guy that doesn't need the $2,000, or a liberal who's upset that Trump's going to be incredibly popular after. But we're going to be back in 15 seconds. I didn't have time to get to the bottom of that. But it's like a tax refund, as far as for me at least, right? All right, we're back. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, good morning. It's Joanne from Tamarack.
Hey, Joanne.
I'm wondering, I'm curious, what your opinion is concerning the filibuster and getting rid of it.
I think they should get rid of it. What's the point of having the majority if you got to get 60 votes?
I'm all in agreement. I think Trump, our side, should do that immediately, because if the Democrats ever get in again, they're going to jump on that.
Absolutely.
I'm curious, if you get rid of the filibuster, that's it. It cannot be brought back.
Oh no, they could always bring it back. It's not a law. It's just a Senate rule. They run things like like those Roberts rules and all that stuff for meeting. They got all these parliamentary rules. They can change them as they feel.
Okay, so why are the Republicans so afraid of doing it?
Because they're stupid. They tell themselves, well, if we get rid of the filibuster, the Dems will do it too. The Dems are going to do it anyway, and then they're going to impeach Trump if they're back. So come on.
They are definitely going to do it.
Exactly.
They're going to try and pack the courts and all that other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I also am wondering about the victims. I know we don't talk about Epstein, but a couple of months ago, the victims were in front of the Capitol steps and demanding or wanting everything released, and the list, etc.
Yeah.
If they want that to be, why can't they put together a list and give it to a lawyer, their lawyer, without putting their names on it, and publish it?
Yeah. Well,
they wanted to do that.
Listen, they bring up Epstein every time they need a distraction. Two things are happening, right? The Democrats were getting creamed. The deal had been reached on the shutdown, and we're getting the indictment of Brennan, Strzok, and Page coming. So anytime there's an indictment coming, they drop something about Epstein. That's how you know an indictment's coming. When they start talking about Epstein in the media, an indictment's coming. It was just a distraction. They're disgusting, low-life people.
But they could, the victims themselves, they want it published. Make up a list.
Mm-hmm.
All of you write down whoever you dealt with, make a list of names, and publish it, and they can be anonymous. They don't, as far as getting sued, they don't have to give their name.
Yeah.
But that would solve a lot of things, and it wouldn't come from either side. It comes from the victims themselves. So it's a lot of baloney.
Mm-hmm. All right. Hey,
Anyway,
I agree with a lot of what you said there. Good call. Thank you so much. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name's Kadar. I'm calling from Houston, Texas.
Kadar? What kind of name is that? I've never heard that name before.
It's just a regular old name.
I don't know about regular. It's Kadar. I've never heard that name. It's a name, but it's not. It's a good. I'm not nothing wrong with it. It's just I've never heard it before.
I mean, it's pretty usual. I just got a couple questions, and I'll let you go, or you'll let me go, whichever one.
Okay.
Okay. So, where do you think your taxes should go to? Like, I don't really know. Like, I don't like lumping people in a bubble, right?
Where
so
should
I want to know?
Where should my taxes go to?
Where do you think your taxes should go to? Right?
I don't think American working people should pay any taxes. That tax money should go right to my bank account.
So how would we have roads or schools? You think we should
schools are paid by local property taxes and such,
right.
at the state and local level.
Property taxes.
Yeah. No, I think the country should be funded on import taxes, tariffs, like it used to be.
I have to look into that. I don't think there was ever a time that we were fully funded by just import taxes alone. But I don't think that would also be like a sustainable thing, because that would mean that like we inevitably have to tax a bunch of people. I mean, a bunch of different countries with shit ton of money in order to supplement.
Okay, we had to hit the dump button. You said the S word.
I'm sorry.
No profanity. Hey, listen, hold on a second. My name's Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back. Okay, we're in commercial break on the radio. We're still on. You can't use profanity.
I'm so sorry. I am so sorry about that.
Okay. All right. No, so I don't think there should be this is what the president's doing. This is what Trump's doing, Kadar, okay? He's cutting back government spending big time. And what his long-term goal is to use the import taxes, the tariffs, to pay off the national debt and then do away with the federal income tax. That's what his ultimate goal is, and I support that.
I just don't. I don't think that's sustainable. I mean, and I don't know. I'll just move to another topic because I guess I don't want to hold you too long.
Well, okay, that's okay. What was your other question? That's okay. You're new.
My other question is like what do you define socialism as? Because from my understanding, socialism is just basically workers taking over the means of production. It doesn't mean that you don't work. It doesn't mean that you just get to sit around and do nothing and get paid for nothing. It means that you get paid more of a fair share for the value.
Oh, that's socialism, the fair share. You know, people get paid.
Right, exactly.
What determines what people are paid are two things. One, the employer, right? They pay what they're going to pay. And people typically are paid what they are worth or what you can negotiate. Right. But so far, oh, yeah.
Have you ever worked a service industry job?
Yes. When I was young.
And what was it exactly? Because I worked as a server, I worked at Jack in the Box, I even worked at Baker Hughes.
Okay, well, those types of jobs. Okay, Sure, they are, because those are entry level jobs. You can take anybody off the street, and they could be working at a Jack in the Box the same day. Those are entry level, low skill jobs.
With a high school education and let them work at Jack in the Box, but I mean, most managers that are there are like in their 30s, and somebody has to work at Jack in the Box at the end of the day. Do you eat out?
Sure.
You eat out, right? And somebody's there to serve you, correct?
Yeah.
If somebody has to work that job, unfortunately, it's just a fact of life. So why not ensure that those people's needs?
No. Okay. I'll give you an example. Let me give you an example. Okay. I have a college degree, and I have a double major in history and education. And when I went to college, I was going to be a school teacher. Why do you think I'm not a school teacher and I do what I do instead?
Maybe you want to get your point out there, I guess.
No.
Is what it seems like to
me. I could not afford to live off of what school teachers are paid. I make a lot more money doing this than if I was a school teacher.
So you think privatization would solve that problem?
There are some private teachers that make a lot of money. What I'm telling you is this. When you talk about, you're talking about entry-level jobs. Those are low-paying jobs, okay? Because anybody you can take anyone off the street and they could be working at a Jack in the Box or a McDonald's that day. You can't do that with what I do.
Okay, so prime example, I was working at Baker Hughes at an entry-level job making $21 an hour.
Wow. That's great.
It was an entry-level job. I came in, they trained me like you would teach a dude to flip a patty, and I got paid $21 an hour for it.
That's great.
And in some countries like Sweden, McDonald's workers actually do get paid a living wage. I've just got one question for you before you respond. If you're working at an employer and that employer sees marginal profits every year, they make more and more, and your wage stays the same, do you think that's a fair trade-off? Because
that's a decision as an individual, that's a decision you have to make. See, the employer or the owner, they're taking all the risk. They may be making profits this year, but in 5 years, things might be slower.
So there's no risk to the worker at all?
The worker's not taking risk. The business owner is.
So if I'm working at Baker Hughes and my arm gets caught up in a machine, I'm not taking any risk at all when I'm doing that? Or if I'm working with high impact, what's it called?
Well, that's what okay, listen, I gotta run. Hold on a second. Slow down. Stop. Hold on.
Go ahead.
Hold on. I'm sorry. Stand by. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show. Our delay is re-engaged, and we have Kadar here. I was talking to before the break. We were talking about socialism, and you were talking about people getting paid a fair wage. if the employer or the business owner is making a profit, you think that should be passed on to the employee.
I'm not saying that they're making a profit. I'm saying if their profit continues to go up, and you see that places like Walmart, right? Most people at Walmart are literally freaking surviving off food stamps, but Walmart reports record profits every year.
Well, but here's what you don't understand.
Their employers are more of a risk. If they lose their job, and
Walmart,
listen, you lose your job,
when you're talking about
you could lose your food stamps.
when you're talking about retail, right, at Walmart, that's another one of that's an entry level job.
It's an entry level
that
job.
you could take anyone off the street with a little training, and they could be working at Walmart the same day. So it's a low skilled job, so it pays less. Sometimes, rarely.
So somebody has
sometimes.
to work at Walmart, right? Somebody has to work at Walmart. So what? So are you?
Yeah.
Arguing for child labor?
No, I don't have to work at Walmart.
We should just throw a bunch of 13-year-olds in there and all the adults get the welfare.
I don't have to work at Walmart. I don't have to work at Walmart. You don't have to work there.
Let's say you have a high school education. You didn't have access to education. I know you were arguing that, 30 people under 30, they're so stupid or whatever. Yes. Well, we don't have levers to get access to education without having some sort of.
How do you think I went to college? Excuse me. How do you think I went to college?
How did you go to college?
I paid my way.
Right, you paid your way. I mean, and you could afford to do that.
No, right? It took me a long time. It took me 8 to 10 years to get a 4-year degree because sometimes I would take one class or skip a semester. I paid out of pocket.
Hey, I am so sorry to hear that.
That's great.
From my perspective, I feel like I'm sure you got something from that,
exactly.
Bristling grind culture. But I'm saying that you shouldn't have had to do that.
I didn't have to do that. I didn't.
You shouldn't.
I didn't. I could have. Excuse me. I could have gotten a student loan, but I chose not to because I'm smart. I did. So I got a college degree, and I had no debt.
I get that. You're super smart. I get that.
No, I'm not super smart. I just have some common sense.
You're not taking into account that some people we need educated people in the workforce. You would agree, right?
Maybe, depends.
I mean, but wasn't your argument earlier that because it was something that we were talking about China, right? I don't want to
see. Let me get the conversation focused. Okay, you're talking about this fair wage in the businesses. See, you're talking about. Let me explain this. Hold on. Let me explain this to you. When a business may make profits, but they're taking all of the risk. Okay, as an example, you talk about Walmart. Walmart's making record profits. What if the pipes break and there's a $200,000 plumbing repair at the local store? The employers don't have to pay that; the company does. So employers, when there's profits, they take the profits, but they're taking all the risk.
All right, so if that store closes down and because of that plumbing issue, and then those employees can no longer work.
I've never heard of a Walmart shutting down. But you asked me what socialism is. Excuse me,
plumbing issue either. I've been to Walmarts all around.
You asked me.
I've been to 3 Walmarts in my Houston area.
You asked me about socialism. What's socialism? Okay, Zohan Mamdani is a socialist, and he says he's a democratic socialist.
I'm arguing to give people stuff for free and not.
Oh no, he's talking about he's talked about in interviews seizing the means of production, free buses. He said recently.
But let's be real.
Rent control.
Makes sense though. Free buses make sense.
Nothing's free.
Those bus systems don't profit at all, right?
The people that take the take the buses are not paying income tax. They don't pay taxes. They don't make enough money.
I used to take the bus and I paid income tax. I took the bus on my job.
You are rare. You're rare.
I paid income tax.
That is rare.
Yeah, but I also see business people taking buses all the time.
Please.
Too. I'm pretty sure they.
No, I don't know any
pretty
business.
marginal income tax.
I don't know any business
Like,
people
when I
that
started
take the
working at
bus.
Baker Hughes, my tax rate jumped.
I don't
It was
know
horrible.
any. I don't know any business people that take the bus.
I see them all the time.
Mom
They
Donnie,
even have,
Mom
like-
Donnie. Okay, Mom Donnie's talking about rent freeze. A rent freeze is seizing private property from a property
rent
owner.
freeze is essentially saying, hey, we're not going to allow people to keep raising up rent prices when they're barely affordable to begin with.
Well, then move to a city you can afford. If you can't afford New York rent, move.
That's not how it. If you can't afford your rent, can you afford to move?
Sure.
Like, it's an argument for
Sure.
like, straight
You could take the bus to another town.
Like, okay,
When
well, then,
hold
you
on
can't
a
afford
second.
the rent, either
That
move or be
see what
homeless.
you're talking about is not socialism but communism. I own my house. If I decide, hold on,
Communism is a
slow down,
moneyless,
slow down,
stateless society.
slow down. If I decide to rent my house, is it up to me? How does the rent get determined? Who determines what the rent is?
If you decide to rent your house, right? To be honest, you could set it whatever price you want.
But not in New York. Not in New York City. Mom Donnie is going to tell you what you can rent your properties for. So it's no longer your private property.
On the market, right?
Not in Mom Donnie's New York. He is going to tell.
Then what you're arguing for is that Mom Donnie would instill regulations on the rent.
No, he's seizing private property. He's all right. I'm going to move on, but I appreciate the call. 15 minutes I kept him on, even after he used profanity. He's a communist and he doesn't even know it. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Richie. I got to tell you, I'm listening to this guy. It's getting me crazy. First of all, you're right when you say you don't have to live in New York. You ever go to Key West, Brian?
Oh yeah.
Well, if you ask all those business owners in Key West, and I went into stores and asked. And then guess what? A very rare thing happened. The owners were working because they couldn't, because the people couldn't afford help because it was so expensive, and the help would have been too much money to ship into the island. Believe it or not.
Yeah.
So in other words, this Walmart. People go shopping at Walmart. If you ever go to Neiman Marcus, which is a super high-end store, they're empty. But when they sell one product, they make a fortune. Walmart is there full of people.
Well, look at this rent freeze, okay? This rent freeze in New York, which is a seizure of private property. People need to be able to afford the rent. Well, then, cancel some of your streaming apps, and you don't need the latest iPhone, right? Okay. When the heater breaks at the rent freeze apartment building, the tenants aren't going to pay for it. When the furnace breaks, the owner's going to pay for it. But Mom Donnie's raised his taxes and freezed the rents that he can charge. He doesn't have the money for the furnace. So what's going to happen? Mom Donnie's going to send the code inspector over there and find the business owner because he doesn't, the property owner, because he hasn't fixed the furnace that he can't afford to fix because of Mom Donnie. It's communism.
And then he's going to take the house. Then he's going to take the house.
Yeah, that's correct.
He's going to seize the house.
That's his plan.
And
he said he's going to, and by the way, Mom Donnie said he's going to do that. He dropped a video recently saying he's going to do just that. Venezuela.
I'm going to say this. Yeah, I'm going to say this also to people that don't realize. It's a real quick story. My mother, she deceased. May she rest in peace. She used to work for the telephone company in New York City. When she retired, she had free medical. They insured her. She went to the doctor, okay? And the doctor looked at her for no more than 3 minutes, Brian. And she got back in the car, and I took her home. Now, they sent her the bill by mistake. They didn't send the insurance company the bill. You know what that doctor charged my mother for that 3 minutes?
What's that?
$188. My mother was in a fit. Now, the average person will walk up to a doctor in an office. They'll say, do you have insurance? Yes. Okay, the copay is $10, $15.
Yeah.
And they're totally blind to know what.
Well, if you guys remember, a few weeks ago, my cat scratched me in the eye. I was talking about this with Steve.
Yes, I remember that.
And I said what I did before the show is we have a bunch of distilled water in the house for medical equipment for my wife. So I took a gallon of distilled water. I poured it in a big Tupperware bowl. and I put my face in that water with my eyes open to clean it out. I didn't go to the doctor. I didn't go to the ER. And we even got an ophthalmologist called. Oh, Brian, you need to go see it. You need to go to the ER. You got to. Nothing. My eye healed fine. My eye healed fine. Now, what would if I would have gone to the ER for that cat scratch? Oh my goodness, what would they have charged me? How many thousands of dollars?
$4,000.
Yeah.
And I got to say this to you, really.
I treated myself for $1, maybe $1.50. It was crystal distilled water.
2009, before Obamacare, United Healthcare, which is the biggest healthcare company in the United States, it was to have the stock was $23.94.
Mm-hmm.
Today it's $339 a share. Humana, by the way, Humana was charging. Listen to this one. $40. If you had Humana insurance, it was $40.83 per month. They don't insure individuals anymore because
Listen, Richie, I gotta run, but I appreciate the call. All right, take care. All right, it's I'll take one more call. What the heck? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian, good morning. It's Jessica calling from West Palm Beach.
Hey, Jessica.
How you doing? I mean, this argument between this communist
yes
talking about rent freeze and how good it's going to be under Mandani because he's going to be helping New Yorkers with everything. It's a communism. It's a page of a communism Karl Marx book.
Yes.
Now, let me tell you something. They don't understand that the reason why New York is unlivable today is because of the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
I mean, New York has been under government or under Democratic rule for the past 30, 40 years.
We had Giuliani for 2 terms, and other than that, it's been Democrats since the revolution, right?
Exactly. We're talking about only a very small lapse when Giuliani was in office, but New York State, the state congressmen, senators, councilmen, everybody in New York is a Democrat.
Yes.
It is a Democratic government. They are the ones at fault for putting New York and making New York the way that it is today. It's not Republicans. And they're so naive and stupid that they don't understand that this guy's not going to do anything. He's part of the problem of New York.
Yeah.
You know? This high cost of living, food, train, transportation. It was not on the Republican. The Democrat Party
That's right.
did that.
Well, listen, I gotta run for a break, but you make some good points. He's going to turn New York into Havana.
Yes, and I can't believe that they're so stupid. They don't say, "Oh, well, he's going to come and save my rent." No, he's not doing that. He actually is part of the problem. He did it.
Yep.
His family did it. His father did it. All the Democratic Party did it in New York.
Yep. All right.
They did that to themselves.
All right, I'm late for the break. I got to run, but good points. I agree with everything you said. I want to talk about Life Imaging FLA. I was just reading this. Listen to that. You know, they have locations in Broward, Palm Beach, and Dade. And Doty left this review online. They went to the Jupiter location. Listen to this. Went to the Jupiter location of Life Imaging FLA to have a heart scan. Got the full body scan too. Thank God I did. It showed a spot on my kidney. Took the results to my primary and to a urologist. It showed I had kidney cancer. I had no symptoms. I wasn't feeling bad or anything. They had to have their kidney removed. They found out about it before it spread. So they got another kidney. It didn't spread throughout their body because they went to Life Imaging FLA. Oh boy, isn't that amazing? They're saving lives over there. What a great business to have where you're saving lives every day. That's amazing. You know, November is Men's Health Awareness Month. And Life Imaging FLA, of course, they are here to help you. Life Imaging FLA offers free heart scans with a few minimum requirements valued at $699. While you're there, ask about their full body cancer screening for that ultimate peace of mind that Doty here found out that she had kidney cancer with. Never would have known. Not symptomatic at all. Life Imaging FLA is all about proactive health care. They're saving lives through early detection all the time. According to the National Cancer Institute, over 4.75 million cancer deaths have been prevented through early detection and screening. This November, take control of your health. Visit Life Imaging FLA. Start living proactively. You may save your own life by going over there. Pick up your cell phone and call pound 250 and say free heart scan. That's pound 250 and say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. We'll be right back. Hey, it's Brian. Hey, again, hold on a second. Hey, Ian, we're not on the radio right now. We're just on YouTube, but we got a couple minutes till we're back. But we could talk to the YouTube people while we're waiting. We'll save the big announcements because we have some announcements we'll make on the radio. But I wanted to talk to you that are watching online. A lot of people that go about half of the people on the cruise are people that either watch me on YouTube or listen to my podcast. And tell people that are coming from out of town, Ian, how you can help them with all their travel and everything to come for the cruise in March.
Yeah, so for the out-of-towners, the fact that we're sailing out of Miami is not, it's actually an easier gateway to get to from a lot of U.S. and international cities. And then once you get into Miami, it's a straight shot down the 836. Right to the port.
Yep.
So, and there's some really great hotels in downtown Miami Beach for people who always wanted to stay on South Beach and stuff. And it's all really local. And yeah, we can help arrange all of that. Celebrity's got an air service. It's priced well. And they have a guarantee that you'll make it onto the ship. And that's worth a lot. That's worth a lot.
One thing, it was kind of a weird thing for me the first time someone told me this. A lot of our, hold on, I'm going to answer these lines during the break. Hold on. Okay, yeah, are you back with me, Ian?
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of the out-of-town listeners that come on the cruise, they sometimes they come early or stay in town after because we're a vacation destination, which I kind of forget. Living in South Florida, we're a vacation destination. South Florida is part of the Caribbean, by the way, officially. And some people, you take care of their hotel, their airfare, their transportation to the ship from the airport. But some people have told me they've even booked local shore excursions, which blew my mind.
Yeah, the Everglades and stuff like that, Everglades tours.
Yeah.
Sure can.
Yeah. I mean, so we'll give out Ian's number in a minute, but you out-of-towners, if you come to Florida for our MAGA cruise in March, this is our 10th one in March, you're going to see a lot of people there, meet a lot of people that you know from my chat room on YouTube and stuff. All right, we got about a minute.
Mary's still coming.
Oh my goodness, did you see the video of the Antifa attack on her?
Sure did. Anyone who could attack Fun Mary has serious issues.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I know. She's lucky to be alive. They shoved her to the ground, Antifa.
Yeah, I know.
It's crazy.
She's in her 80s. You're a real man to do something like that.
Oh, what a punk. What a bunch of monster punk. All right, we got about, let me see, hold on. Let me check the clock. I've lost track of the time. Okay, we have about 30 seconds. But there's three we got to be kind of quick, but I got three things I want to hit with you real quick.
Sure.
But time is short.
Excursions are almost done.
Oh, great. That'll be, hopefully we'll announce those next week. All right, stand by. We got 15 seconds.
Yep.
All right, we are back. Callers on hold, stand by. I'm Brian. This is the Steve Kane Show. On the line, Ian from Cruise and Travel Depot. The countdown to our 10th annual MAGA cruise is here. How you doing, Ian?
I'm doing well, thanks.
Okay, well, there's 3 announcements that I want to bring up to you. We're a little short on time, but the clock is ticking on all these things, so I wanted to have you here to talk about them. One, the holiday specials are going to start to be advertised by the cruise line any day. And when that happens, we lose our group 2019 pricing rate. So if you want that 2019 pricing for our March 2026 cruise, you got to call Ian and make your reservation right away. So you get that pricing. Right, Ian?
As soon as possible.
Yeah. The other thing is, you were telling me the other day, the ship is filling up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm seeing entire categories go bye-bye.
Yeah. So
that's why they're pressuring me to, sell the remaining group inventory or let it go.
Yeah, because we're gonna, the ship is filling up and it's filling up fast. So if you don't make a reservation, you're gonna miss that great pricing, and you may not be able to get a cabin. The other thing I wanted to mention, this is something we don't talk about too much, but you were telling me, though, that there are some openings with the inside cabins, and those are great deals.
Yeah, they're good deals. People on a budget. They're, not as plentiful, believe it or not, as verandas, as balconies, but we've got them. We can get them. Yeah,
and with the inside cabin, you still have access to everything we're doing in the group and everything. This is not the days of the the ocean liners where you couldn't go on our decks and all that stuff. So you still, even if you're on an inside cabin, which is very, very reasonably priced, I'm here to tell you, you still have access to everything we're going to do in the group and everything else. You're not going to miss out on anything. So call Ian about that. And those of you that have already made your reservations, the final payment's due as well. So get in touch with Ian on that.
Please do.
Yeah. So tell everybody where we're going, Ian. We're going on the Great Celebrity Beyond. I know we're going to San Juan, Puerto Rico, which is my favorite place in the Caribbean.
And we're going to Tortola in the British Virgin Islands, a really high-end, pretty destination. And we're also going to Puerto Plata in the Dominican Republic.
Oh, and we can't announce the shore excursions yet because our ports of call were changed unexpectedly. And we had great things set up at the other ones. But Ian's about to ink the deals on our excursions on this one. That Puerto Plata event I can't wait to announce it, Ian. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. That's going to be a really, really fun day for the group.
All right, now listen, guys. Call Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot. If you get his voicemail, leave your name and number. He may be on the line with another listener. He'll call you right back. 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779. All right, Ian, we'll talk soon.
Take care, man.
All right, take care. Yeah, join us, guys. This is our 10th one. Can you believe it? 10th one. Some of you have been on every one of them. It's very exciting. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, hi. Wow. Hi, Brian.
Hey.
This is Steve.
What's your name?
Oh, my God.
What's your name?
CC?
TC?
C.
Cece. Okay, Cece. Cece. Okay, Cece. Where are you calling from?
Yeah.
Where are you calling from, Cece?
I'm actually calling from Texas.
All right, Cece in Texas.
That was the most fascinating conversation between you and that young man.
The commie? Kadar, the commie?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Well, you know what? Here's why it was fascinating, and I kind of felt for him because, gosh, our education, well, not just educating, whatever you want to call it, a lot of people I want him to take self-responsibility as well, but the people around him have also failed him because he really could not hear you. The thing that really jumped out at me was when you mentioned that you had had to, go stop out, take time going through school, and you had to work and pay your way.
Yeah.
He was, oh, I'm so sorry.
I know. Isn't that hilarious? That was probably the best part of my college education.
I'm so sorry for
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, oh, I'm so sorry for you. That was the key.
Crazy.
Right there. That was the key. Kids, whatever you want to call them, the young people today, they don't want to, to go through what it takes. But here's the thing. Here's the quote that came to me. I had to look this up. I love this quote. Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times.
Mm.
Good times create weak men.
Oh.
And weak men create hard times.
Who said that?
It was from, that was from this 2016 novel. I love it. It is so apt of what we are going through now because we have had, I don't know how many years you want to call it, good times, but what is it creating? Weak men.
Yes.
Who don't want to do for themselves.
What's the name of that book? What's the name of that book?
Those Who Remain. The author is G. Michael Hoff. H-O-P. I hope I'm saying that right.
All right.
H-O-P-S.
I'll look it up.
Yeah.
Well, in manly circles, it's called it's creating a generation. We would use the P word. That thing that Trump said you could grab women by, and that's it. I mean, you got a generation of wimps.
Yeah, but one other thing I hope he's still listening.
He is.
One other thing that he should know is that you were absolutely right. Socialism, it turns into, I don't know what levels it goes through, but it all eventually ends in communism. And communism is a race to the bottom for everyone, except the very few at the top.
Correct.
If he really wants to scream and yell at people in power, wait till you're in.
Look at the leading communist we have, right? The leading communist. Mamdani, AOC, Bernie Sanders, and Elizabeth Warren. They're all multimillionaires, all of them.
Yeah. Well, even outside that, I mean, look what happened in Russia.
That's right.
We thought they were behind the Iron Curtain, so we didn't know what was really going on.
Listen, I'm up against the top of the hour break, but thank you for the call, and I'll check out that book. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. If you're on hold, hang in there. We'll take our break from the top and get back to the calls. The number is 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you're listening. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, celebrating 49 years on the radio. That's right. We'll take our break for the top of the hour, be back with your calls, and Steve Kane after this. Hey, what's going on? All right. Okay, you there? All right, I'm going to put you on hold just for a minute. Okay, hold on. All right. I'm just waiting to hear from Mike on when we're going to be back. If you're on hold, stand by. Oh, man. There's some very good calls today. Kadar the Commie and Nurse Ratchet from New Orleans. Pretty good calls. Okay, we'll be back in 2 minutes. All right. Are you there, Steve?
I'm here.
All right. We got about 2 minutes still.
Okay, we're going to do open phones.
Well, yeah. Hold on.
You got something good?
Always. Yeah, hold on. Give me a minute. I'm going to put you on hold for a second. Hold on. Okay. Are you there, Steve? Are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, hold on. We got just over a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, one more second. I'm going to put you on hold again. Okay. All right, Steve, you there?
I'm here.
Okay, every line is lit.
All right.
It's not open phones, but I'll tell you what we've been talking about when we get back.
Sounds good.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. Steve Kane is here, and this is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Today's been an exciting show, Steve, I must tell you. The liberals are losing their minds with all this Trump winning.
That's not new.
You know, so a lot of callers have been calling in, trying to share the wonderful benefits of communism and why we shouldn't be supporting Mr. Capitalism, Donald Trump. So that's kind of what we've been doing today.
Well, that sounds really fun.
Oh, yeah. We had Kadar the Commie, Nurse Ratchet called in a little while ago from a critical care unit in New Orleans. So the show's been on fire. Yeah. But before we do that, though, you know, I want to talk about coastal weight loss secret, and then we'll go back to the phones. You know, this is the holiday time, right? This is the time of the year that you see people you see only once a year or every 5 or 20 years, right? You got your Thanksgiving, your holiday parties, Christmas, all that. Go to Coastal Weight Loss Secret. Steve, you know, we've had listeners from all over the United States call Coastal Weight Loss Secret, and they're losing a ton of weight. Not figuratively, literally. I mean, we've had people from all over the United States call them. It works. And I've been in the maintain phase, I don't know, 5 or 6 months since, you know, because I lost more weight than I thought I would. And I'm where I want to be. I'm where I was 29 years ago when I married my wife. I'm in the maintain phase. You know, I have not gained a single ounce, Steve. Not a single ounce. Because with Coastal Weight Loss Secret, there was no big lifestyle changes, right? I didn't have to change what I ate. I didn't have to exercise and all that stuff. And since I didn't have big lifestyle changes, when I got to my goal weight, and then I passed it up a little bit, lost over 35 pounds, maintaining it's been effortless. Give Coastal Weight Loss Secret a call and schedule your no-charge consultation. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightlossecret.com. All right, you want to take some calls?
Let's do that.
All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name's Jake Penfield. I'm calling from South Carolina.
All right, South Carolina.
I'll say South Carolina at that. So if that helps, I don't know. But it's good to hear from you. It's good to actually talk to you. And I appreciate everything you do that you've been doing for years.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you, thank you. So what's on your mind?
Well, really, this whole Democrat Trump Epstein email thing, man. So, see, if they knew this, if they had any knowledge of this, why would they have not have dropped this a long time ago?
I don't understand the question.
It's not really a question. It's kind of just telling you how I feel.
He's saying he agrees with you, Brian.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if they've had this knowledge, why have they not dropped this knowledge all along to keep him from being president? When they've cheated, they've done all kinds of fraud.
Oh, and don't forget they arrested him multiple times and even shot him.
Well, they shot at him.
No, they shot him in Butler.
They shot at him.
They shot him in the.
He didn't die.
He survived.
Shot him, he probably would have been dead.
No, they shot him. He got shot in the ear. He got shot in the ear.
He did get shot. I guess he did get shot in the ear. So I watched that too, just like the Charlie Kirk thing.
That's right.
I was watching everything live when it happened. Just like J6. I was watching that live when it happened.
Well, that's good.
The only reason the Proud Boys was there because they had people was burning shit and calling.
Oh my God! Third dump of the day, Steve.
I think you got to dump him, man.
Yeah, third dump of the day.
That was God reminding us that.
Not to end the call.
A great call.
Yeah, I know.
God was ready for us to move on.
I know, but I when he called in, I was doing something on this. Oh, you'll never guess who I heard from this week. A voice from the past.
Who?
Jimmy Ray.
How is Jimmy Ray?
He's okay, he's well, and he's living in Orlando, Florida.
Oh, I hope you gave him my best.
I did. He came.
He's a good guy.
He came across the. He said I popped up on his YouTube feed, and he, Jimmy Ray. Steve was a program director of this radio station. This isn't so controversial these days, but it was back in '93. Remember you put the show on with two gay hosts. One was Butch and one was Queen. Jimmy Ray was the effeminate one. And then, do you remember the name of the other host, Steve? The Butch guy?
The other host was, right at my tongue.
Charlie Beto. Charlie Beto.
Scott Beto. Oh, I got you.
Not Scott Baio. Just Charlie Beto. Charlie Beto. And Charlie Beto was like a Butch gay guy. Jimmy Ray was an effeminate gay guy. And you put this show on the air and you called it Queer Talk.
Yes, it was a big hit.
Now that's every show except this one. They're all gays now on everything. But back in '93, '94, it was a big deal to have two openly gay guys hosting a show.
It was a groundbreaking show in those days.
Yeah, they would. You hear us do live commercials like Coastal Weight Loss Secret. They would do commercials for gay bars in town and stuff. Remember live spots for gay bars? It's crazy. It was a strange show. But yeah, Jimmy Ray. I heard from Jimmy Ray. It's good to hear from him. Yeah. All right. So the delay is re-engaged. Let's go back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning. How are you today?
What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, Tom, Florida. Trying to get to work in this traffic. Hey, man.
Pathetic.
That guy talked about Trump getting assassinated and he got shot. We got pictures of John F. Kennedy laid out with his brains on the table, but we just don't have a picture of Donald Trump's little ear with a little scratch on it, do we?
Yes, actually, we do. And he has a scar there.
Where's that?
It's on his ear. It's on his right ear.
I gotta see it. I gotta pull up some pictures.
You know, you were so pathetic. Okay, now, hold on. Before you get to your next thing, don't lose don't lose your train of thought. You were so pathetic in each and every one of your calls. You do this thing. Do you know what this guy does every time he calls, Steve?
What do I do, Brian? Come on.
You pretend to be busy doing something else, and talking to us here on the show is just like, oh yeah, hey, I'm here. You do that every time. Like, give me a break.
Well, I am in traffic. Here, there's the horn beeping in traffic. So.
Oh, I know. Anybody could get a driver's license.
Do you find? Hey, how about this thought? Ready for this? If Trump goes for a third term, what if Obama went for a third term? Who do you think would win?
Trump.
Yeah, you think so? Okay.
Yeah, I'm afraid so.
I'm saying, Steve, would you find that interesting?
Be great. With Bill Clinton as his running mate, I'd love it.
I don't think so. I think Bill's a little too old. The country already just, said how they don't like old people. So,
Nah.
And Trump's getting there himself. So.
What kind of man are you? You know what I wonder. You know what I wonder. No, I got one more. I got one thing for you. You know what I wonder? What kind of man?
Brian, let's go. Then you dump me.
What kind of man?
Go ahead.
What kind of man does not support Donald Trump? I'd like to know. What kind of man are you that you don't support Donald Trump?
Man, oh my God! Hey, Brian.
I think we know now. I think we know now by that voice.
Once again, Brian, you are going after the whatever you think's going to make somebody upset, and it's pathetic. You're pathetic.
So what kind of man are you that you don't support President Trump?
The one that doesn't support President Trump. Wow! Oh my gosh, that's pretty crazy, huh?
All right. All right. Take care, Tom. I think we found out what kind of man he was. You hear that accent, Steve? The voice changed there for a second. I think we figured out everything. All right. Listen, I'm going to put you on hold, Steve. We're going to take our break, and then we'll be back. All right? Stay tuned. Hey, George, it's Brian. How you doing? Good. You got that article I sent you yesterday? It was about South Florida buyers looking to buy before the prices go up from the New York buyers. Oh, okay. We're going to be back in, let's see, let me look at the time. We got a few minutes till we're back. We're going to be back in about 3 minutes. So I'm going to put you on hold. You'll hear music, but when I pick you up, we'll be on the air, okay? All right, hold on. Steve, I have George Colony. I'm gonna when we get back from the break. Okay, so you want to be on hold? It's up to you. That's what I was asking. Would you? Okay. Hold on a minute. Oh man, the show has flown by. I mean, I've been over 3 hours. We just hit the 3 hour mark. I feel like I've just come on the air. Steve, you there?
I'm here.
We got 1 minute. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we got less than a minute.
Okay, don't leave me out of this one. Just
Let me put you on hold then. It'll be easier technically. I want to put you on hold. Okay? All right, hold on.
Okay.
All right, George, we have 10 seconds.
Okay.
All right, stand by. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig, and it's time to check in with George Colony, our real estate guy here in South Florida. George Colony, good morning.
Good morning to you. How is everybody?
Oh, everyone's doing great. You know, South Florida real estate, this may be one of the hottest times in South Florida real estate history. All these news stories of New Yorkers after this election in New York, of Mamdani moving to Florida, looking for homes to buy. This has got to be a good time to sell your home, George.
I think the fact that the government opened up, I think the prospect of interest rates coming down, I think the prospect of getting all of the tariffs in line, and I think certainly the fact that New York has made a move like this has certainly made people think that they're far better off to get out of those states and come to Florida where we have no income tax, we have the Homestead Act, we have tremendous opportunity here, the weather is great. Yeah, it stands to reason that this is what's going to happen. And last weekend, I got to tell you, Brian, I think on Saturday I had 27 calls from Philadelphia, Boston, New York, Chicago.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. But you know what filtered in there, Brian? Were calls from the Brian Craig Show.
Yeah.
And I want to tell you a story about a guy that I met real quick. His name is Sal. And he called me up and he said, George, I'm 76 years old and I've got a house and I've got a condo and the condo has gone down in value and I need help. And I found that the best two words in the English language are help me. So when somebody says to me, help me, I'm on my way. So I went and met Sal with my daughter, Lauren. We went up to this place called Dandy Donuts up on Atlantic Avenue and we sat outside. Well, first of all, everybody knew this guy. And he began to tell me the story about Vietnam and when he was wounded in Vietnam and he got the Purple Heart and how he lives off this pension that he has.
Mm-hmm.
But he was a really interesting person, and without you, I'd have never met a person like this. And he started introducing me to people that were walking by, and I said, isn't that the way life is? That you introduce me to somebody, they introduce me, I introduce them, and that's how the world goes around.
Absolutely.
But it's a nice story. Congratulations to him on a Purple Heart. He's done well in his life. But we listed his home and his condo, and we're going to put him into something that's a little bit more affordable for him as he retires. Okay?
Well, that's awesome. The
other guy.
Yeah, go ahead.
The other guy that called me, I don't know where this came from, but he called me from your show, and he says, listen, I started a company about a year ago, and I'm beginning to realize that I know how to install my product, I know how to sell my product, but I don't know much about marketing. I don't know much about accounting, and I need some help. And I see that you've started all these companies in your life, and they've all turned out to be successful, and you're still starting companies. I said, yeah. So I went to meet him, too.
Wow.
And once I listened to his story, these stories for people are so interesting. Your listeners are sitting out there with all this experience and all of these things that they've done in their life, and when you listen to them, you just shake your head and you say, wow, what a wonderful country this is. It's unbelievable. These people are all out there, and all they want to do is see our country be great.
Yep.
They want to be happy. You know, it's crazy, man.
Well, you know, one of the great things about living in Florida, other than it's the best state in the union, we got the best weather and the beaches and all that, is since everybody retires to Florida, the people that you meet in Florida it blows my mind, the people that I meet that listen to this program my whole life. Now, you say you're getting a lot of calls from people out of town, so you can actually help people from other states find a home down here.
That's exactly right. And the whole thing is, for me, it's 15 minutes of my time and 15 minutes of theirs. So anybody that calls me, we sit and talk. I try to listen to what their situation is. And my job is to recognize the problem and solve the problem. So people coming in from up New York now, especially, what they're going to find in the next 3 or 4 months is there won't be anything available to buy. It's going to turn on a dime.
Yeah.
This Trump is unbelievable what he does and how he gets things back online. Opening up this government is a big deal because a lot of people were really struggling, and he recognizes it.
Now you mentioned interest rates. So what's going on with interest rates is also making it a good time to buy and sell.
Well, people think that it's the Fed that really controls the interest rate in the real estate. It's not. It's really the 10-year note. So really you want to watch the 10-year note, and it will start coming down. I'm hoping this year the Fed does drop the price, because that not only affects real estate, it affects our government because we're paying interest every month on this crazy debt that we have.
Yeah.
So it's got to continue to go down, and as it does, if people out there are looking for an answer in real estate, please have them call me, Brian, because I tell you what, I can help them. I promise you. Well,
let me just tell people a little bit about you. You know, I met George Colony here through Tom Laporta from Laporta Roofing, who you guys know. He's been with us for many years. But when I first talked to you, I realized I knew your name was familiar, and in a way I've known you my whole life. Growing up in Fort Lauderdale, I've been seeing your name connected to real estate since I was a kid growing up down here in South Florida. So no one has the experience with South Florida real estate, both buying and selling, that you have. And you've literally been involved in multi-billions of dollars in transactions, both buying and selling in real estate, right?
Yes, sir.
So there you go. You're talking to a top guy. Give George Colony a call. This number rings directly to George Colony's cell phone. So you can call or text 954-801-7320. That's 954-801-7320. All right, George Colony, we'll talk soon.
Let's make real estate great again, Brian.
Absolutely. Take care. Take care. Wow. Oh, boy, that was a good one. Hey, Steve.
How are you doing?
Oh, my goodness. Oh, just all kinds of good things going on. You know, George Colony.
I can only imagine.
Oh, you can only believe me. You can imagine. You know, this government shutdown is such an amazing thing, Steve. You and I have been through many a government shutdown. You more than me. And the news keeps telling us, oh, well, this is historic. It was the longest government shutdown in history, 42 days. That's true, but I think what the bigger historical note is, to my knowledge, and if anybody out there in the audience has an example to prove me wrong, I don't mind being wrong, prove me wrong. I think this is the first government shutdown where the Republicans came out winning. Because the Republicans and all the other ones always cave, and the Democrats get everything they want. This time we won, and there wasn't one concession to the Democrats.
Well, you know what the difference is between then and now? The difference is Donald Trump.
That's right. The greatest president ever. I know. It's amazing. You know, what the evildoers are concentrating on and hoping for is that MAGA is going to fall apart when Trump's no longer president. I think it's going to be stronger. You know, Donald Trump is doing a lot of great things. And when he leaves office in 2032, 2036, or maybe even 2040, who knows when, the expectation of the American people for our politicians when it comes to accomplishments has risen so high that all these others, whether it's JD or Sean Duffy or Higgs, whoever the future, or Marco, whoever the future presidents are in the MAGA movement.
There's an old saying that I'm very fond of, but basically, he's a hard act to follow.
Yeah.
Very hard act to follow.
Yeah, but the consumer of elected officials, which are the voters, They have expectations from our government and our officials we never had. I think before Trump, we really didn't expect them to accomplish anything. We just liked what they said and voted for them. Now we expect results. But you know who I think is there's two guys that you want to keep your eye on, okay? When we talk about the Trump administration, we have an overabundance of future MAGA presidents, right? Marco Rubio, JD, Pete Hegseth, right?
Right.
But you know, there's a sleeper there that is very impressive to me. The Transportation Secretary, Sean Duffy. He's been on TV a lot because of the air traffic controllers.
Sean's great. Sean's great. We've known him for a long time.
I love that guy. I could see him being president or vice president too. He's a kind of a transportation secretary is kind of like a job they normally give to somebody because they did something that the president that got elected is grateful for. This guy is so good and so competent. Sean Duffy. I like him a lot. I really do.
There's no question, having watched it, especially what happened last night, there's no question that the Veep is the inside track, no question.
Oh, JD?
That's who Don is counting on. So
I love him too. I read his book, Hillbilly Elegy, but Ron Howard made a movie about JD Vance, and his mother is played by Glenn Close.
Really?
Yeah, and it's pretty good. I'm sure Ron Howard regrets making it because that was before he was MAGA and all that stuff. But it's really good. Yeah, Glenn Close plays his mother. The actor that plays him, I can't remember who that is. Is it Glenn? No, Glenn Close plays the grandmother. Glenn Close plays the grandmother that raised him. And his own mother is played by, I forgot who. It's a very good movie. You should get it. Hillbilly Elegy. It's the name of the movie. Ron Howard directed it, so you know it's good. And his story is amazing, and he is so good. Have you seen him in these debates with these kids?
He's very good. He's very good.
He's like us. He does with these college kids what we do with callers. He really is, and he's got he's got a trait that you need to. He's charming, and
he's very appealing. Look, Donald. We didn't know much about the vice president when he was appointed, but as usual, we have faith in Don's picks.
Yeah.
Don knows what he's doing.
Now, let me give out the number. You guys out there, if you'd like to call in, please do. It's toll free no matter where you're listening. It's 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll take our bottom of the hour break and be right back. Okay, hold on. I got to do... Steve, you there?
I am here.
All right, stand by. 30 seconds. All right, we're coming back. All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. Steve is here. You know, I want to tell people for a moment, Steve, about Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing. I'm going to give you his number, which rings to his cell phone. You can call or text. We got lucky this year. We didn't have a hurricane, but I'll tell you what, there's no part of your home more important than that roof. If you have a wet spot on your ceiling, you've got a leak in your roof, and if you ignore that, you're going to have some big problems like you had, Steve. You had that wet, that's how we met, Tom. You had that wet spot on your ceiling, and you ignored it, and you ended up needing a whole new roof. You had deadly black mold growing in 40% of the drywall in your home, which had to be replaced. The moisture created a breeding ground for termites that were eating your house. It was a mess, but when you saw that first wet spot, if you would have called Tom Laporta, all that may have been avoided. This is Tom Laporta's cell phone, 954-604-4602, 954-604-4602. All right, yeah, so this is the week of winning, and, you know, I'll tell you another thing, too. My least favorite topic is anything to do with Jeffrey Epstein. But yesterday...
Well, they usually tend to use him as a diversion. It's just to get away from what's really going on, which is all usually very positive for Trump.
Yes.
They bring Epstein up as a diversion.
Well, that's true.
Trump all.
Oh, yeah,
Boy,
it does.
He was angry last night. Did you see that?
Oh, he was fuming.
Yeah.
He was fuming.
Well, I don't blame him.
Well, there's a couple good things about the Jeffrey Epstein story. One, anytime you hear Jeffrey Epstein in the news, you know that there's either a big Trump victory coming or one of the lawfare people are about to be indicted. Right? Yeah. So that's one. The other thing is, Steve, what they did yesterday was incredibly damaging, the Democrats. Did you see what they did?
I watched most of what went on last night.
Well, one of the Republicans was trying to get all the Epstein files released, and the Democrats voted against it and stopped the release of the Epstein files. They don't want them released. And it was very high profile, and they've done this before, but nobody really noticed. And when they did it this time, everybody noticed, and it's like the lead story about the whole thing. And of course, they don't want them released because they always want to have that in the background to bring up when something's about to happen, to try to divert away from Trump. But what they did, Steve, is right. I would say, I don't think I've seen Trump so angry. Have you?
He was pretty pissed.
And you don't want to piss off President Trump. I mean, he was, in fact, when he, sorry, Steve, I'm having some phone issues. When he made I got it worked out. When he made the announcement, he wouldn't take questions. And believe me, President Trump, this may sound like a negative quality, but it's not. When people piss him off, it's food for him. And it makes him take, some people call it revenge. I don't call it revenge. He makes something happen that those people don't like. So they made they awoke not a sleeping giant, but they woke a giant, right? I mean, he was so mad. At least you saw it too. It was like a physical reaction.
Oh yeah.
He's that's not going to go unpunished. He's going to do something today, tomorrow, over the weekend. He's going to do something about that. I don't know what, but it'll be good. All right, let me take some of these calls, Steve. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian from Deerfield.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Brian. Hi, Steve.
Brian, what's up? Good.
Well, just about everything is up, including the markets. It's a fantastic time to be interested in this. The financial, the political, the global, everything. The leadership we have in this country is sensational.
The gold and silver.
The silver is tremendous. I think we got a solid bull market. I think people are going to be very surprised how big this rally is going to be. It broke 50, it closed over 50, not intraday, but at the end of the closing.
Let's save the gold and precious metals report for William Youngerman in a few minutes.
Yes, absolutely. I'm just an amateur. He's the pro, no doubt about it. But in my opinion, we got a solid bull market in that silver, so we'll see.
Yeah.
I have to make a comment. You talked about Sean Duffy. He is a very good guy.
Yeah, he is.
And I want to compare him to that prior transportation secretary, Scott Buttigieg. Who sometimes
Mayor Pete.
Buttigieg. Yeah, Mayor Pete.
Buttigieg.
Mayor Pete. Oh, do you remember when he went down to East Palestine, Ohio, after a year or two, and he showed up there
wearing those funny clothes? He looked like he was wearing a Halloween costume for a construction worker.
Yes.
Yeah.
He looked like he had never been on a construction site ever in his life.
No.
I give him the Dukakis Award for the worst visit a person ever made at a
But at one time he did once date a guy who worked at a construction site, maybe.
Well, maybe multiple guys. I think. But this guy, it was a disaster, that visit. Almost as bad as Dukakis. Remember Dukakis on the tank when he was riding around? He looked so out of place, I had no clue. Now, I heard Sean Duffy said he spent more money on DEI programs in the transportation department than he did on actually correcting the problems, which are massive. And Sean Duffy, I think, is doing a great job.
Well, let me tell you about Sean Duffy, okay? You know, he is an attorney by trade. And before he was in Congress, he was like a prosecutor and things like this. But in the short time that I have never seen a Secretary of Transportation dealing with crises on the front lines as much as he has. And he knows everything. Sometimes he's talking about NASA. Now he's talking about air traffic controllers. He is so good. You would think he was you would think he was an aviator or an airline pilot, the way he's talking about transportation. And I think he's a sleeper. He could be a future MAGA president or vice president without a doubt. He's definitely there.
Yeah, and he's got good presence he's good on the camera and stuff like that too. Apparently, with NASA, we're going to be going to the moon in 26. Did you hear that?
Yeah. You know where he's? You know where he got his start? MTV. No. MTV. He was on the Real World. He was on the Real World, just like his wife.
Is that the program with? Yeah, yes. He's very, very good. He's also was a champion lumberjack. I think as a log roller too. So he's an athletic guy.
Oh, really? Oh, Mayor Pete is really liking him probably. Then he's a lumberjack.
But Pete Buttigieg, in his prior administration as transportation secretary, was a disaster. And Sean Duffy's spoken out a little bit about it, but he's correcting all these problems that he's trying to get a handle on, and it's massive.
Remember when Mayor Pete was unveiling those the male breastfeeding stuff and everything? It was so bizarre.
Yes. He's the Kennedys are the ones that really brought him along, I think, from what I heard.
Oh, speaking of the Kennedys, hey Steve, maybe you saw him? Did you see President Kennedy's grandson that's running for the Nadler seat?
Not close up this.
Oh my goodness! He thinks he's his grandpa. He thinks he's John F. Kennedy.
Yes.
He's John F. Kennedy looking with a cross of Barney Frank.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah. Did you see him? Did you see him in the videos, the short videos that he did before this, when he's just like talking to people? It was a disaster.
The drag videos. The drag videos. Have you seen those?
Yeah. And that's what they're going to run. It's terrible.
He's not John. I did not know John F. Kennedy, but his grandson is not John F. Kennedy. I mean, he's.
It's not even close.
Let me tell you, President Kennedy. I read a book, Steve. There's a book about President Kennedy. It's called An Unfinished Life. This guy, President Kennedy, was more accomplished than anyone ever imagined before he even went to Congress. He is one of the most amazing people. The three most amazing presidents are, of course, Donald Trump, Teddy Roosevelt, and John F. Kennedy. And I'm looking at Caroline Kennedy's idiot son and the things he's saying about his uncle, Bobby Kennedy. He's a disgusting person.
Did you see Caroline Kennedy in the interview where she used, I think like 37 times in 2 minutes she was being interviewed on a television show?
Really?
She's not a chip off the old block either as far as being able to talk like President Kennedy did.
Yeah.
you know, he was a great leader, and it's a shame that his administration was cut short by an assassin's bullet. But and I think President Trump has a lot of a good feeling about President Kennedy when he was in office too.
I think President Kennedy and Bobby Kennedy Sr. would be very proud of Bobby Kennedy Jr. with Trump. I really do. And I think that President Kennedy would be embarrassed by his grandson. I saw him on TV. He is a sad, sad person.
Yeah, he looks like someone who's had too much wealth and never really did anything on his own. It's
Well,
really
he's a Kennedy.
Yeah. But you know what? For Kennedy in the cabinet, it took a lot of courage, you know, again, profiles of courage, to step out and switch parties because he got a lot of blowback from that.
Well, I remember when Bobby Kennedy...
Yeah, he still is.
I remember when Bobby Kennedy went to that Trump rally and went out on stage and he got a standing ovation from everybody. Yeah. I thought he was going to cry.
Yes. It had an emotional impact on him that was really good. It was visceral. You could see it on
And
his
face. His wife, Cheryl Hines, the actress, remember she plays Larry David's wife on Curb Your Enthusiasm. She went on The View. Yeah. She cleaned those witches' clocks every which way but loose. I mean, it was amazing. She is Cheryl Hines, Bobby Kennedy's wife. There's only one wife who's better. Did you see Stephen Miller's wife on CNN?
No.
Oh, you know, she grew up in Weston. Stephen Miller's wife's from Weston.
No kidding.
And she is, Steve, I'm afraid of her. I wouldn't even attempt to disagree with her. She is, you know how good Stephen Miller is? She's his equal.
Yes.
These are the two most evenly yoked people I've ever seen married, and she's good looking too. But
Talk about a power couple, the two of them, boy. Just listening to the conversation between the two of them would be great.
Look it up online. She was on CNN on a panel. I don't think they expected what they got. She's good. Oh, yeah.
I saw her on another show where she was interviewed, and she was very good, but I don't remember which one it was.
Oh.
And I was surprised. She was very good.
She went to she went to high school in Weston, graduated from whatever the high school is over in Weston, yeah.
Wow.
I never really paid any. I saw her on that debate, so I looked her up online, and I've heard Stephen Miller talk about being in Florida a lot. I didn't realize his wife's in Florida. Wow. I bet her family might be listeners of ours, Steve. I'd be surprised if they weren't. They should be very proud.
Give them a shout out.
Heck yeah.
Absolutely.
Look her up online.
We have a multitude of abundance and talent in the Republican Party, which is completely devoid of the Democratic Party.
Well, what I'd like to see,
make us stronger and stronger.
What I'd like to see is a panel with Stephen Miller and his wife up against two liberal jerks. And you know, like on Bill Maher's show or something. Anytime Stephen Miller's on TV, I watch. If I can catch it, he's so good.
Yeah.
And
sure.
Yeah, and his I remember there was a press conference in the Oval Office a couple weeks ago. And somebody asked a question, and the president said, well, that's Stephen Miller's area. He says, hey, Stephen, can you answer them? He says, can you answer it the way you do when I watch you on TV? You know?
Wow.
That's pretty good. All right, man, we got to run.
Very good. He's very... Okay.
All right, take care. All right, thanks so much. We've had exceptionally good callers today. I want to talk about Jupiter Joe Thomas. You know, you hear me talk about annuities with him all the time. He offers no-charge consultations, which you can take advantage of no matter where you're located, either in person at his office in Jupiter, on the phone, or through Zoom. But I want to share with you the value that you get with this free consultation with Joe Thomas. First of all, he's been in the retirement planning business as a financial advisor for over 30 years. So he's got over 3 decades of experience. But listen to this. He's a 5-time qualifying member of the $1 Million Roundtable, which is achieved by fewer than 1% of all financial advisors in the world. So he's also a top man in the industry. And I make a big deal that it's Jupiter Joe Thomas for 2 reasons. One, it makes it easier to remember his website, jupiterjoe.com. But Jupiter is where the financially successful people live. You know, Don Jr. and Eric Trump live in Jupiter, okay? So when you're taking, you know, one thing I've learned in life, when you want to be successful at something, find somebody who's successful at what you want to be successful at and model yourself after them. That's right. Like with Steve, I used to listen to you, Steve, on the radio, and I wanted to do it, so here I am. When you take financial advice, you want to take advice from somebody who lives and works in Jupiter, where Don Jr. and Eric Trump live. And we have one of our listeners, Steve, we have listeners that have gone to Jupiter Joe Thomas that are very wealthy and people that are working people. You know, we have one of our listeners, Steve, wanted to retire, worked at Publix. And she went and met with Jupiter Joe Thomas, talked about annuities. You know, your money's not at risk and you got that monthly revenue stream. She's making more money retired, not working, from her revenue stream than when she was working at Publix.
Wow.
Isn't that something? That's absolutely amazing. Yep, here's the number. Call and schedule your no-charge consultation with Jupiter Joe Thomas. 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And you can find his number on his website, jupiterjoe.com. We'll be right back. Okay, I'm going to put you on hold, Steve. I got to call William. Okay.
All right.
Hello? Oh, hey, I was just calling you on the other line. Okay, hold on. Okay. Steve, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, we got 1 minute.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we got 1 minute.
Okay.
Okay. All right, William, we have 20 seconds.
Okay.
All right, we're back. It's time to check in with William Youngerman with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how are the metals looking today?
Oh, very good. Exciting times in the precious metals as gold continues to climb back towards the all-time record high of $4,350. Yesterday, we saw gold trade in a range of $4,098 on the low, all the way up to $4,212, and closing at $4,194.40, which was up $68.50. Realize we've come up almost over $300 from the lows that we hit in the last couple of weeks. Silver up $2.04 yesterday, closing at $83.10. Palladium $2. The rally continued. Now we saw gold trade below $4,108, all the way up to $4,245. That was just within $100 of the all-time record high we hit.
Wow.
And right now, gold is at $4,215. That's up $21.20. We did get as high as $42.45 overnight. Silver hitting a high of $54.45 this morning.
Oh, my.
Right now, we're at $53.35, up 16 cents. Platinum down $19 at $1,590, and palladium down $17 at $14.33. So silver and gold doing fantastic, hitting near record highs again.
It just seems like a couple days ago we were talking about $50 silver. Now we're above $50 silver. It's happened pretty quick. This is amazing. Well, this is the time, guys. Now, you know, with William Youngerman, everything is available for immediate delivery. Okay, so everything is in stock. He opens up at 10 a.m. Give him a call, 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. Stop in if you can in person. William Youngerman is located in Boca Raton at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, which is immediately east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road on the first floor of the Bank of America building. You can't miss it. And find both his phone number and address online at williamyoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, we'll finish out the week tomorrow.
Hey, have a great day.
All right, take care, take care. Wow, Steve, I got to tell you, this is, oh man, that silver's looking really hot. Absolutely. You know, we had a listener called up on the other day, Steve, on a day you weren't here. She started buying a little bit of silver each week, like a coin here, a coin there. When William first started with us in 06, 08, something like that. And she said that her silver holdings are bigger than her financial accounts.
Wow.
She's just buying like a coin a week here and there. Isn't that crazy?
Well, that's the secret of savings that I try to teach to my kids. Put aside a little out of every check. It's not how much you put aside, it's the regularity of the habit.
Yes.
That makes your money in the long run.
And a little bit can, because it goes up and up and up, and you do well. Well, if you're on hold, hold on, stand by there. Okay, I'm going to take some of these calls, Steve, as we get to the end, okay?
Okay.
All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Boo McGrady.
All right, Boo. Yeah, what's on your mind? You called us. Oh, here we go.
Okay, I just wanted to talk about DoorDash for a second.
What about DoorDash?
Oh, you know.
No. Call somebody else. They'll talk to you about DoorDash. Oh, my goodness. Lonely hearts out there, Steve.
You spotted that one right.
Yeah, well, when he said his name was Boo.
Train headed to nowhere.
Yeah. No, you never know. You never know. You never know. You never know. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, Jay from Jersey.
Oh, hey, Jay.
Good, my favorite.
Yes, I know. You know, y'all are like a big giant spinning top. You know, like the ones we had when we were kids.
A what?
Like
a spinning top?
A spinning top.
Okay.
You know, I'm a spinning top. Y'all can spin things. But you know what I'm calling about? I'm calling about that nice little thing that we signed last night, and you're so proud of it. Let me ask you a question. You said you don't have health insurance, do you?
That is correct.
Why don't you have health insurance, and why doesn't he have something to go in place of Obamacare? Tell me what
I'll tell you a couple reasons. I don't have it because of Obamacare. It drove the price up too high for people my age, and I don't need it. I'm perfectly healthy. I'm perfectly healthy from head to toe. I got my scan from Life Imaging FLA, no plaque, no buildup, no cancer. I am perfectly healthy. Maybe you're not.
Why doesn't he have a health insurance in place?
Because this is not a communist country. Because I can afford it. I choose not to buy it.
So why doesn't he have? What's everybody else going to do that needs something that's not healthy?
Well, then you pay for, like, you know, you got to eat food. You buy food. You pay for your health care.
And people afford it after this.
Sure. People that, yeah. Why not?
You really believe that?
Well, I think maybe cancel. You know what? Dumb. You know what? You don't need to get the new iPhone every time it comes out. How many streaming apps you got? You know, cut back. You know, cut back.
I don't have an iPhone.
Cut back.
I don't have an iPhone. I have a Galaxy Ultra 22X.
Well, then get a second job. Then get a second job if you can't afford it.
Second job. I own my own business.
Well, then then you can afford you. So you're success. How's a black man like you successful? How are you successful in this racist country?
Can't afford it.
Well,
you can't even afford it.
I can. I choose not to buy it.
You can't afford it. It's going to be even worse if you were somebody.
I can afford it.
You can't afford to pay for it.
I would rather go buy gold and silver from William Youngerman than throw money at health insurance I don't need because I'm perfectly healthy. Right, Steve?
Well, tell the rest of America how they don't need health insurance.
As opposed
to, Steve, do you need health insurance?
Steve's got Medicare.
Oh, so the government pays for his...
No, Steve pays for that. He paid for that his whole working life.
Oh, but they're gutting those.
No,
gutting those.
Nobody's gutting Medicare.
Oh, yeah, they are.
The only thing that's getting gutted is you in this call.
Remember, Remember I said this.
What?
Remember.
What?
As long as you remember I said this.
What?
Steve, you ain't going to have no health insurance soon. And you old as dirt.
Ain't gonna have, that mean double negative, that means he is going to have health insurance. All right, that's nice. He said you're gonna have health insurance forever, Steve. Oh boy, double negative. Oh boy. I'm surprised. We're in a racist country, but he's financially successful, owns his own business. And
I'd love to have heard that story.
Yeah. Well, he'd have to own the business to tell us about first, Steve. I want to talk about Coastal Weight Loss Secret. You know, you have plenty of time to lose the weight before your holiday party. I lost 25 pounds in the first 3 weeks. Okay, so give them a call, no matter where you're located in the United States, and schedule your no-charge consultation. And my results are pretty typical. I didn't do any exercise. If I would have exercised, I would have lost more weight faster. But losing about 1 pound a day without any exercise, eating foods I would normally eat and without starving myself, that was fast enough. Give them a call. The number is 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. That's 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightlosssecret.com. Tomorrow is Open MAGA Mike Friday. It's Friday already. It's open phones tomorrow. And today, we got a lot of very upset Democrats out there, Steve.
We always have a lot of very disturbed Democrats.
Yeah, well, all this winning, they just can't handle it, right? They just can't handle it.
In this case, they did it to themselves.
They could, the Democrats, if they could have come out on top, if they would have embraced this in the beginning, they would have looked like they won something, but they can't get themselves to go along with anything President Trump says, and they look like losers.
They choose their battles. They're choosing the battles that they can't win.
Everything's a battle, and that's why they're losing everything. Well, listen, we'll see you tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning is open phones, Open MAGA Mike Friday, meaning the show prep is up to you guys and the listening audience on Friday. I can sleep in a little bit. I don't have to do show prep. You guys will do the show prep. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane has been here. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. God bless Donald Trump. All right, Steve, I'll call you later. Oh, Steve hung up. Okay. I'm going to sign off today. I'll be back this afternoon, guys. If you are new, make sure you subscribe, okay? This is where MAGA comes to talk. I'm Brian.